What's up, everybody, and welcome to the second Warmane Invitational 3v3 tournament. I'm your host, Cheo. Alongside me, I have Zoniaki and Dave working with me. So, how you guys?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you.
I am doing marvelous. Thank you for asking, Shell. Happy to be here. And
Awesome.
Yeah. Very excited to see these teams going up and seeing what the tournament has to bring.
Yeah, I think this tournament is going to be epic. I'm very, very excited. 8 of the best teams in Warmane competing for a massive 5,000 prize pool. So this will be a great opportunity for these players to not only prove who's the best, but also make some money.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's as you said, it's the second tournament. I think the last one was like what 3-4 years ago. So this is this is a great opportunity for players to just basically show their passion to the world. Just show what they're made of, show what they can do, prove that they're the best, see who's the best. So this is going to be a great competition. I'm excited to see the games and yeah.
Yeah, big thank you to Warmane and the staff of Warmane for getting this tournament together and getting the players getting experience to compete. And the 3.3.5 can be a great one.
For sure. So I was thinking maybe we could just go through the basic ruling for the people that are a bit unfamiliar with the rules in the Warmane tournament. They're I'm not sure if they've changed a bit, but anyway, you guys can see all the links are below in case you just want to see them yourself. As long as brackets, we'll be talking about this as well. So yeah, maybe we can just start with this until we get the first game going. Just maybe some of the crucial rules. What do you think are like the most important rules that are very crucial to specific to Warmane compared to like a live tournament? Hello?
Well, obviously, having no spec stacking is a massive thing because in the current meta, it could be absolutely ridiculous. It's nice that we've got some balanced compositions as well, and it's not just going to be like all LSPs or all TCs. It's actually a really smooth thing.
Oh, okay, yep. Awesome. So the first game is gonna be starting, guys. And yeah, no, as I said, one of the rules is definitely that you cannot have double or triple healers in a composition. You also cannot class stack. That's something that for example, isn't the case on live tournament rails. At least for the class stacking, the double ruling is now. So that's one of the rules. We'll be talking about more of the rules, but I think the first game is ready. So we're gonna be going in and checking that as soon as the game is ready. And yep.
Yeah, the gates have actually already opened here. And we got Ripley's, Black Betty Brunities, LSP versus Pekka, Zonga, and Nof's TSG.
So this is Damage With Me, which is Brunty, Ripley, and Black Betty's LSP versus Old Division, Zonga, Nof, and Pekka's TSG. For anyone who's not familiar with the teams, that's an Ice Crown team versus a BlackRock team. Very interesting first matchup. As you can see, Zonga already taking so much pressure.
Yeah, the zone actually had to be popped there from Pekka's the Lich Lord, and Zonga is actually taking so much damage. The LSP pressure is insane. He's literally, his life is doing yo-yo for the past 10 seconds. That is some crazy damage.
Yeah, we got some big defensive cooldowns coming out from Zonga as well, some shield wall going out, and you can see the LSP is actually completely fine. They're just getting a lot of damage out here onto the opponent team, and the TSG really needs to get some pressure here to manage, because they cannot let this LSP just free cast into the TSG. You can actually Pekka's as well, just taking a lot of damage, and Zonga's again down 4%. He's actually just gonna fall.
No trinket purple left on Alden either. He was blown so early in the game.
I was gonna say the bloodlust is what caused it, but even after the bloodlust was over, I mean the heroism in that case for the alliance, it was I thought it was the pressure was gonna stop, but no, Zonga was literally just pillar humping as much as he could, not enough for him. And you guys were talking about a bit how fast how fastly paced the game is. Is that a reality? Are all the games fastly paced, or is it only when there's these big Ellies with the big offensive cooldowns such as heroism? Is that only the case when that happens, or do you think it'll be the case for most other matchups?
I think in this 284 meta, it's going to be a lot faster than the previous tournaments we've seen and the other metas like the 264. It's the damage output with the like heroic Ice Crown Citadel gear, and it's just a complete difference. But I think this game was kind of exceptional. Like you can see the damage difference here from Black Betty and Ripley compared to the TSG. They just like double the damage, and the TSG just couldn't find their mojo and getting some output on the LSP.
Yeah, the TSG fell behind so quickly. The Paladin had used both Bubble and Trinket within the very, very start of the game. They all took absolutely massive pressure from there, and positioning wasn't ideal. They were forced into a really, really bad area where they just took huge spread pressure.
Yeah, for sure. And that's gonna be that was the first matchup. So that was Old Division versus Damage with me and Damage. So for the people wondering how these teams got in, it's actually the qualification system is basically like it used to be in the days, as in it was top 8 on the ladder. Correct me guys if I'm wrong. Top 8 on the ladder basically qualified. So this was the first game. Usually it's basically seeding based. So the highest team that qualified first will be against the 8th team. And then we'll go on force. As I said, you can check all the brackets and all that stuff with all the players right below. But yeah, it looks like that was a team Damage with me, and they definitely had a Damage with them. Gonna be taking out that TSG. And so one thing they can do is they can actually they're allowed to actually have 4 players on the roster. So they have the opportunity for the teams that do have 4 players to maybe swap out the compositions. And yeah, I think that the first matchup, always the first composition that the teams pick is a blind. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is a blind pick, so the teams don't really know. I mean, they can kind of expect, they kind of know what each other plays, so I guess they're ready for that. But there's kind of a blind pick factor, is there?
Well, in this case, unfortunately, the TSG have only signed up as for TSG. They have no other option for a composition. As Damage with me have Shintra and Warrior, they can swap.
Yeah, Damage with me has the Thundercleave and the LSP. They can swap
and
back and forth between
as well.
Yeah, and while Old Division only has 2 different TSG compositions, so they're kind of stuck with the TSG formation.
They're sticking to the cleave. All right, I got you. All right.
Yeah, hey, staying low to go TSG.
Hey, it was the first map. It was Nagran. Maybe they'll be, they can pick now the map. Maybe they'll have a map to a better advantage. I remember one thing important too in the rules that I saw is that the Ring of Valor is actually not an optimal choice of arena. So that's a good thing. If you're a melee cleave against a double caster, that is a good thing for you, because Ring of Valor is very scary against, there's the pillars are obviously they can go up and down, which means that you don't have that stable line of sight, just like we saw in Nagran. So that's definitely a good thing if you play a melee cleave. That was feel quite good. And yeah, we're just gonna be waiting. Oh, I think the match is up. The next match is up, so we're gonna get into that right away.
Yeah, the game should be up really shortly. We're just waiting for all the players to join the game.
So as I said, the losing team will be able to choose the next map. So I'm sure this TSG will be able to yeah, there we go. It's gonna be Ruins of Lordaeron. That is the map. That's usually a very common map pick for cleaves in general. It's just much easier to kind of swap back and forth on the targets. So we'll see if that arena map gives them a bit more luck. It was definitely honestly rough on that Nagran arena. I felt like the pressure was just unstoppable. But anyways, here we go, guys. Second game versus Old Division, versus Damage with me.
TSG is just walking right up into the LSP, just trying to get some pressure this time. You can see them going for opening on Ripley's here, but not getting too much out.
To push out this far into the open so early into the game. You can see they have to use some big defenses. That's Big Sack and Trinket used at the same time from a Paladin.
You can actually see Ripley's and Brunty both taking damage here due to...
Yeah, this game seems a bit... I mean, the Bloodlust has been popped. Really, the pressure is on to Black Betty right now. He's done 50%. The Gargoyle has been popped. Ooh, the Bob Hassel has to be traded by Brunheady. He's gonna be... Oh my god!
Songa dropping extremely low.
amount of damage. A bit of an overlap with the sack and the anti-magic zone, unfortunately, but that was, you know. Ooh, the bubble too from Nabi. Really, this pressure is currently unstoppable.
Yeah, this TSG just popping all the defensives right away. They just cannot manage with this damage putting out from the LSP. But the LSP is a really scary comp, and the damage output from the LSP is just incredible.
I think the next C chain on Nop is going to be devastating. The next CS, the next Hex, the next Fear on Nop is going to be very scary. He has no trinket.
Yeah, you can see
no
the Icebound coming from Pekas as well with the swap onto Pekas. He instantly has to pop that Icebound Fortitude to this match. You can see him dropping that to 10%, 9%.
No shell.
He's spamming the Death Strike, but not enough for Pekas. The Death Strike, unfortunately, not enough. A good try by him. That Nop just had to pop everything so early. It's just.
Well, yeah, once again, cooldowns to do so early. I feel like positioning is absolutely crucial on this map. If you're going to play open field at the start and you're not going to get anything from it, you should be pulling back, especially on the last.
Ooh, for sure, and that's gonna be 2 points on the board for damage with me. They are the #1 seed, so obviously, if you're the 8th seed in a tournament, you usually fight the first. It's gonna be it's gonna be a first rough game, but it's gonna be a rough first game. But oof, unfortunately, as you said, they don't have any other comp options. That is part of the game. You can have 4 members, but unfortunately, if you can't play any other matchups, and as you said, LSP, and I'm assuming of that caliber, is even if you had multiple comps, it's probably harder counter.
Yeah, definitely. And this is one of the more favorable teams that ended up, they were ranked 1 on the ladder last season by quite a long. Okay. So it's definitely a rough first matchup with TSG, that's for sure.
It feels like when you're competing in one of these tournaments, you're gonna have to have at least 2 different compositions that you can play with, just to be viable to go against different teams. If you're just stuck to one composition, it's gonna be hard to push the tournament.
Oh yeah, for sure. I assume that especially against the veteran players, the players that have been playing for such a long time on the tournament realms, that have a lot of experience, not only on one class, as you said, but also on multiple classes. It's definitely tough, and whole division's gonna be falling 0-2, 0-2 for now. It is a best out of 5. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are we in best out of 3? Okay, yeah, just making sure. So yeah, that's gonna be that's nice, and the games are gonna be pumping. Finals best out of 5. Yep.
And, this is gonna be a half an hour tournament. The games are all that quick by the looks of it.
I feel like the pace of the game is definitely very high. Also, best out of 3 is can be unforgiving. Honestly, it's very tough. You can, especially if you lose that first game, then you have the pressure of losing the second game and you're out. Bit of misplay overlaps, and that can cost you the game. So it's these games are not only short, but they are also very they're going to be very crucial on decision making. And just make sure you don't overlap anything, make sure you communicate well, make sure you don't just manage in general.
Extremely unforgiving games in best of 3. Very, very little chances, especially to redeem yourself. And like I said, such a strong matchup for them in the first game. Really, really rough. Cooldowns forced so.
Yeah, just like you said, Zuni, with the communication is such a key thing, because you really need to talk about your cooldown management, both offensive wise and defensive wise.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, they did pop 2 defensive cooldowns there, the TSG, and that could have been 1 more go they could have had to survive.
You're right. I mean, honestly, I don't also blame it. That pressure is
it's insane.
When your partner drops to 20%, you're like, oh, I'm gonna zone you, and then your healer thinks the same thing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna use a CD, and then if you overlap, did cause them to lose the game. But hey, it's there's gonna be more games.
Exactly.
It's talking about the next game. That's gonna be Wheezy. Yep, go ahead. Were you gonna say something, Shell?
Please continue.
Okay, I was gonna say the next game is gonna be Wheezy versus Shameful Display. So maybe you guys can talk to us about these teams. Are they are some of them? Wheezy is gonna be the second seeded teams of this tournament. So I'm assuming there must be also known players.
Or we can see
high experience.
Yeah, we can see the team is the roster is Neressa, Bruce Pala, Lurker, and Mercedesa. And all these players are well known on this tournament realm and in the WoW community in general, and all really high rated players. And I'm expecting a good game from this team. It's going to be really interesting to see what composition they're going to pick the first time. It's going to be the A to C or the Hunter, Warlock, Pala.
Ooh, yeah. So yeah, as we were saying, it is, they have the choice of picking their comp, but nobody else other than themselves. And the tournament organizers know. So it can come to if you win the blind pick, maybe you have like an advantage. If you kind of know what team you're fighting, you can kind of predict what they're gonna play, and maybe try and counter pick in that sense. And as you said, actually, Wheezy does have 4 players also, so they can potentially swap out one of the players, and yeah, we'll be seeing that in a few minutes when the teams are ready to go in. For those that are joining now, guys, this is the Warmane Invitational Tournament. Day 1, we already had one series. If you guys want to check everything that comes to the players, to the brackets, you can check the links below. And yeah, the first game has been very, very fast-paced, as we were saying. And yeah, we're just excited to see some more as soon as the players are ready.
Yeah, for those that missed the first game, it was Damage with me playing the LSP versus Old Division that was playing the TSG, and Damage with me went with a 2-0 lead there and won the first round.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm personally very, very excited for this next matchup. Sumi Sumik and Machine have been extremely successful rank 1 players for many seasons now, and very, very established names. And obviously the team they're against as well is one of the strongest ATCs around. Not to mention they've got Mercedesa, who is also probably the most established Warlock on Wrath of the Lich King at the moment, and very successful in live service too.
Ooh, yeah, so you were saying ATC. That is the famous composition that has been terrorizing many players in the Wrath of the Lich King. That is the Proud Warrior, Hunter, and the Holy Pally, correct?
Yeah, Holy Pally,
Yeah, I remember that.
Protection Warrior Hunter.
That has cost them. Oof.
And they can do like incredible pressure as well with the Hunters.
Oh, actually, they're playing with the Warlock. That, as you were saying, that's actually going to be the HLP popping out first of Mercy. They're actually going to be playing his lock here with Nairess on Hunter.
Yeah, the game has actually already started, and Nairess is down to 50%. Both is team swapping damage here to Ready Lol and between Nairessa.
Yeah, the Heroism actually has been popped by Jaeger. But a lot of pressure on his Warrior, actually. He's actually the one taking the most pressure during that Heroism. There's a full trap. I actually think the trap got grounded by Jaeger. A great job by him. He actually stopped a very crucial CC on him. And Jaeger's going to have a very important role to really stop that CC chain on his healer. We know with the Tremors, with the Shears, the groundings, to make sure, his Pally doesn't get CC'd as much. And it looks like the pressure... I mean, it's quite actually even right now. It's quite even. Like I said, the Horizon has been popped. Do we see the full Hodge onto Mercy behind the pillar? Got actually Trink. I think he trinketed.
Yeah, we got Red here trying to fall back here because it's taking so much damage. Just trying to retreat and not sit in the open, eating Elemental and Hunter damage at the same time. You can see actually this entire Thundercleave is just taking a lot of damage. You can see Jagger actually dropping down to 30% as well.
Yeah, it looks like his healer though is stabilizing. The Tremor now is now popped. Good job by Jaeger so far. He's really been keeping his healer out of CC. That's been very, very important. This ground position of Wheezy, Team Wheezy has a lot of CC, and the pressure's onto Nairessa. You see the pressure onto him actually most of the game. And Mercy is free. He's playing that Affliction Warlock. He's free, but I mean, his opponent is actually taking a huge amount of damage. He's going to be stabilizing now. Bruce Pal is going to be pumping these heals.
You can see Nairessa already having to pop Readiness here in the early game, and already popped the turns as well. So he has 1 turns left here. But you can see as well on the Thundercleave team, a lot of defensive cooldowns has been dropped, like the big sacrifice and Heroism.
Good job. Had to pour it out here. It was below 20%. Looks like the pressure is gonna be on the Warrior on the team, and the
Hunter on Nairessa here as well. They're both just trading damage into Hunter and Warrior. And Nairessa actually down to 10% fight, and he's just gonna flop the Blaze Storm. Retilo with the Blaze Storm there just. Nairessa just couldn't stay alive.
That's very unfortunate. Bruce Pal he did have some CDs left. He still had his trinkets and his bow, but like that was literally a no CC chain needed. Just pure burst onto Neressa. And is that a bit of a surprise? The number seven, sorry, seeded team gonna be taking the first win here against Wheezy. Bit of an upset, maybe.
It's not quite how I thought the game was gonna end with all the CDs still being up. Like you said, he had Bubble and Trinket still, but I guess the damage was just too high for him to keep up with. What do you think, Shale? Do you think anything could have been done differently, or?
Let's get no full stance positioning, really. I mean, I feel like a warrior was left free to do absolutely way too much damage. If you saw the scoreboard at the end, the difference was absolutely insane. He just had way too much uptime.
Yeah, that Shadowmorn is actually really scary, and when he gets that full Blaze Storm onto and connects with the full Blaze Storm, it's just going to be a lot of damage, especially with the Elemental Shaman getting the purges out. So Neressa's probably doesn't have Sacred all the time, and that's a huge factor.
But yeah, I have to say, Yaga did a really good job of keeping his healer out of CC. Like I said, he had Trinket and Bubble the whole time. Really consistent with the shears.
Yeah, some good groundings as well on the traps.
Yeah, so we're talking about that blind pick. Do you guys think that Wheezy, that is a team of Mercy and Co, do you think they maybe actually lost that blind pick? They were maybe expecting a different composition from Shameful Display. Do you think that's what happened there? Or are they or maybe there was just kind of a misplay and they should have that game in the bag normally and they just kind of got surprised by the burst?
Yeah, I felt like it was definitely surprised by the burst. I mean, they were expecting the Thunder Cleave from his team for sure. But like I said, Neressa dropped absolutely astonishingly quickly. The pressure was just unbelievable. Like I said, I feel like the warrior had far too much.
Yeah, he was on top of Neressa almost the entire game, and it's going to be a hard time for Neressa to get some damage output onto the warrior then, in that case, in that scenario. And when Neressa can't connect, he's like a lot of damage is going to be lost. But it feels like it could go the other way around. If Neressa gets a certain amount of time to just connect to the warrior, it feels like the warrior's just going to have to flop. Like you saw the warrior just taking incredible amounts of damage at times and had to intervene back to recuperate from when Neressa actually connected.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, that's going to be the first game to Shameful Display. And yeah, as we're saying, it's going to be best out of 3. So hey, one more point. They could be taking the second seeded team out so early in the tournament. That's definitely that definitely doesn't feel very good. Like your first series in the tournament, loss is definitely a bit of a, it's very two side effects. The winning team gets a huge confidence boost. The other one kind of loses a bit of confidence. So it's usually very important to win that first arena, that first series. Sorry. So we'll see what these teams can do. Of course, Wheezy does have the option to change composition if they want to. We'll see in a few seconds if that is their choice. Maybe they feel more comfortable with a different matchup against that Ellie Warrior Holy Paladin. So yeah, gonna be curious to see.
Yeah, the second game should start any second now, and we'll see here if they're gonna go with the ATC instead of the Lock Hunter Pally, or if they're gonna stick to what they did and maybe change the tactics a bit and try a different gameplay than the last game.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember ATC very well. That was like I said, one of the most terrifying compositions to fight. Not only the damage was super high, it was also they were actually quite tanky. And yeah, I'm excited to see if they're gonna be picking something else. Of course, the players have the choice, to take a few minutes in between these series. Just to make sure that they made the right pick. As we said, best out of 3. Really, every decision you make is important, and especially when you're losing 0-1, especially when you're not expecting to lose versus a team that you maybe used to beat. So they're taking their time.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's these first games are really important. Like I said, just both for confidence and for how the tournament is gonna play out in the long run. These first matchups is just prime. You just gotta get ahead right away.
Yep, and of course we'll be able to see. There's obviously as I was saying earlier, 8 teams in the tournament, so we'll be able to see a quite few different compositions. What would you guys say is usually the most favorites or dominant composition in this current meta?
Well, most would have turned around and said LSP, but it's proving not to be the case at the moment. I mean, we're going to see a few fantastic games. I've got very, 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 very high hopes for Homojay's PHP/jungle. I think, yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's definitely going to be some.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
yeah.
if you've been active on the ladder in threes this season as well, you've seen some different teams like showing up on the ladder, and it's not only just been LSP, for example, that's been dominating. It's you've seen some other teams like Shale said about the Homer Jays, Kitty Cleave, and KFC. So some new compositions and comps have been shown here compared to what you're used to see.
Sorry to correct you there, but it's actually a PHP in jungle from Homojay,
Yes,
featuring Godawful, Capsizer, and
All right. Well, just waiting for these teams to be ready. Maybe they're quite shook by that defeat, so now they're just kind of gathering their senses again and getting ready to show that they're the best. That is also what these teams are here for. Hey, you know, the money's nice. Obviously, like be able to, you know, compete and get rewarded is also nice. But hey, there's I'm sure, and I'm sure you guys will confirm that. I'm sure there's a bit of a there's is how to say a rivalry, I guess, between some of the teams. I'm sure not all of them, but I'm sure there has to be some rivalry. There usually always is, and obviously these teams want to prove to the others that they're better than them. Am I wrong to say that?
no, you're definitely right. There's certainly some rivalry, massive rivalry between especially the top teams on the ladder. Not to mention there's the standard Ice Crown versus BlackRock competitive hatred there.
Okay, I see.
So the second game here should begin any seconds, just waiting for the gates to open up.
Yep, and it's going to be a Nagran Arena again. So the losing team did decide to pick Nagran again.
We'll see if Weezy's gonna change the composition or if they're sticking to the Warlock, Hunter, Paladin. The gates have opened and they're still sticking to the Warlock Hunter composition here instead of the A to C. And you can see them just going into to ready right away, just trying to get some pressure on top of him. And Iresta already dropping down 30% right off the bat, 20% actually. And you see the turns have to come out right away.
Whew, that was big cooldown to Bruce Pal. He actually reacted very well. Now they're swapping the pressure to Bruce Pal. Whew, it's gonna be popping the Hellstone. Oh, he actually bubbled too. Like Neressa is under so much pressure. He had to the turns in that exchange. That was some huge. I mean, the Horizon was obviously used, but that pressure is unrelentless on Neressa. And as I was saying, Bruce Pally reacted very well. Well, the stack with the pressure just does not stop. He's gonna have to fake some shears here. Bruce Pally.
You can see there, Neressa already have to doing readiness and double the turns there and getting bopped just to stay alive. And he's still taking damage. You can see the heroism from the Thundercleave just did amazing damage onto this Hunter Warlock setup.
Yeah, Neressa's doing his best, but it's hard. He's giving the Curse Tongs out, he's spamming the fear as much as he can, but he just can't do enough. It's just like Neressa's taking such huge damage, and he can't seem to be really kiting them. Here's a disengage. He's gonna be kiting the middle of the map. Good job by him. But we also see the freeze trap is gonna be slowing some of that pressure. Now they're swapping on back onto him. Really, Redilo is all over the place. It feels really yeah, I mean, the rest is doing a good job now with the snake trap, trying to kite him as much as he can. That's really what he needs to do, just gain as much distance as possible. He feels like as soon as Reddy is onto him, his health is just dropping and chunking every time.
Right away.
Yeah, and as you can see, his mana's already dropping low. I mean, he's been forced to sit in that aspect of the Viper for a while. Swapping back to Dragonhawk to try and get a bit more pressure out, but he's just got absolutely nothing. He needs to keep his warrior away from him, because if he continues like this, they're just going to go down.
You can see our freedom onto Reddy as well, just to let him connect as much as possible onto Neressa. Neressa is doing everything he can to get away, and is sitting in. He needs to sit in the aspect of Viper soon again, because he's 194. Yeah, you can see the swap coming there on the aspect. And this is not looking good for this team. They really need to recuperate and get some
engage. Ooh, a nice Hodge on the charge here is gonna get Neressa some distance, some very, very crucial distance. He's gonna be trying to kite him now a bit. That's really what he seems to be trying to do as much as he can. That was a nice, really nice hodge here by Bruce Pala to really alleviate some of the pressure on his team. The pressure for Wheezy is going to be on Jaeger now. The Elemental Shaman's taking a lot of damage. He's actually going to get bopped. I think a good choice here by his healer, Biotivel. He's actually going to get CS. Was that a blank? I'm not sure if he got locked. I think he actually got locked by Mercy. Good job by him. Neressa's still taking so much damage. The deterrence is going to have to be used.
Well, we're being left very few defensive cooldowns for Hunter now. It's second deterrence over. They've got no. It's going to be forced. Be careful. I mean, Bruce still has his trinket, but is it going to be enough to save him? Once again, Hunter's absolutely drained on mana. They're going to have to recover here and pull away for a little bit, or it's just going to be down goes.
Yeah, you can see here actually the Thundercleaves, both stacks are coming up here back for the Paladin, so he has some escapes, and you actually can see the big Divine Sacrifice coming out there from Biotivel. Just trying to help his team not take too much damage. And you can see Neressa dropping, taking a lot of damage again. And he just really needs to kite this warrior.
He's been doing as good as he could. He's been okay. Yeah. They have stabilized. This is the longest game we had in this tournament today. Usually most games ended within the minutes. Oh, now a nice hodge behind the pillar here onto Neressa. Let's see what Bruce Pala can do. He does have to fake the shear. I think he gets it off. He's gonna be able to land some heals on his Hunter. Really, Neressa is. Oof,
you can see Jagger.
Oh, Jagger's taking some pressure. The sack is going to have to be traded, and the bubble. So it looks like the team of Wheezy is fairly stabilized and actually managed to get some CDs on the other team. But Neressa does not have a deterrence. He's going to be under some big trouble here. Actually, the readiness is going to be popped. So he's going to have that deterrence ready again if needed.
Neressa actually dropping really low, gets popped. And just still alive here. He's not going to be able to put out any damage right now, but he's going to be able to get topped off here and get some damage now that he's fine, that they were recuperated. You can see Bruce Pala just trying to do his best here to keep his team alive and ahead. And I actually like, I actually liked when they've swapped onto Jagger because they've gotten some counter pressure, and you can see Jagger's mana is actually dropping down. He's got 3k left, but you can see the mana shield just sitting there, just helping him recuperate the mana.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, both teams has kind of stabilized again. Neressa, not sure if he has a TDD. He did pop his readiness. I'm not sure if he actually deterred again in between. But the bot from Bruce Pala is not available. So what Ready taking some big risks. Gonna go into defensive stance. Pop that shield wall. That was crucial. He would have died if he didn't react to that second right there. It's a good reaction here by Ready.
Mercedes are causing massive spread pressure across the team now, bringing back counter pressure and giving Bruce time to top his team. They seem to be stabilizing really well.
Yeah, this is probably the point where this team is going to be really scary when Mercedes gets his dots out on top of multiple opponents here, and Neressa can just pinpoint and shoot wherever he wants to. It's going to be a lot of damage for the Thundercleaves to take into consideration.
Yeah, the Divine Plea was just popped by Biotivel, so he's going to be able to regen some mana. And it looks like, they were actually having the mana lead here for a second, the team of Mercy. They were having the mana leads, and now it seems like with that Divine Plea, they're kind of equal again. Oh, Biotivel taking actually a lot of damage, getting swapped to the end of pillar. Ooh, a big heal is going to come out. So he should be fine. He actually pops the sack here. Pops the sack onto Jaeger. There's really a huge double pressure going on right now, and mana might actually become an issue for that team.
Feels like this Hunter Warlock is far ahead now of the Thundercleave. And you can see Jagger gonna have to get bopped here just to stay alive. Went down to 20% HP.
Yeah, he's gonna be trying to kite the end of pillar once again, trying to really recover. I feel like these teams are they really feel like the game could end at any second. Like we can see the mana, we can see the cooldowns. Both ops have been used on both sides. There's no bubble on the side of a shameful display, so really not many CD. The mana is also not looking good. Mercy is gonna have to do work here for his team. Also, if he wants to finish this game, Ready Law also doesn't have the shield wall. He's intervening back. He's actually playing safe. I like this play by Ready. Doesn't want to throw the game, just trying to play safe. But I feel like Wheezy is in a position of power right now. They finally feel like the pressure's on their side.
That looks like a completely different game and matchup compared to the last one. You can see this Hunter Warlock, when they just get the pressure, it's just really hard for this Thundercleave to make a comeback.
Yeah, dropping really dangerously low. And Warrior dropping dangerously low at the same time. The spread pressure is fantastic. Mercedes has literally got his...
Jaeger casting the heals at 10%, but the mana just might not be there.
Oh, and down goes Jaeger.
And the team of Wheezy actually takes it back, but that was a closer game than we expected. I mean, that was not easy for them. That was definitely not easy matchup for Wheezy, and the score is gonna be 1-1, so it is best out of 3, and everything's gonna be played on the following game. So, of course, this this tournament, sorry, is a round robin, which means basically every team's gonna fight each other, and so yeah, we'll be able to see a few, basically basically almost every team fighting each other. So that's gonna be nice. And but obviously you want to win as many games as you can, so you get higher points on the board. And yeah, Wheezy actually. I mean, they must have been sweating that game. Honestly, like the pressure in the start was just unstoppable. I feel like the rest had to do some crucial kiting to delay this game, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
the deterrence readiness deterrence came really early in the game for Neres as well, but he did a really good job getting distance from that warrior and just keeping himself alive with the help of his paladin. And when Mercedesa finally got some like big dots up on the opponent team, you can just see the Thundercleave struggling to like get a hold of the situation. The damage was just a lot.
yeah, for sure. I mean, they actually survived for a long time, despite all that pressure. But it actually did not look easy, and shameful display here. Proving that they have the spot in the tournament. They're proving that they can also beat some of the best teams with that Ellie Pally warrior composition. And we'll see what they got now. It's going to come down to this next game. This next game, obviously, is going to decide who wins the series. So, very, very important point on the board. That is the first series of these two teams in the tournament. We are on day one. So, we'll have some matchups today and the rest tomorrow for those that are joining us now. If you want to check all the brackets, all the players, tournament rules, how to, everything basically related to the tournament, you can check all of the descriptions below. And yeah, man, this was actually the longest game we had today. The first few matchups were very, very intense, and it feels like as long as the teams who kind of outlive that heroism, they kind of start to stabilize. But man, the first 45 seconds are intense. You must be sweating hard if you see
Yeah, the pressure was absolutely phenomenal at the start. And the rest was forced on the back foot for ages. Like he was just desperately trying to kite, doing everything he could. Yaga so offensive with purges, forcing absolutely. I mean, it looked like it was all over when they were so far behind on mana. It was such an amazing turnaround.
Yeah, like you said, Zuni, it looked like in the beginning of the game that it was going to be one of those really short matches that we've seen previously in this series of the tournament. But they recuperated and swapped it around, and I'm glad to see that in this meta you can manage to do that.
Yep. Well, Wheezy definitely, second seeded team of the tournament. Obviously, usually when you fight, it doesn't mean the team is worse than you, but usually if you fight like lower seeded teams, you kind of expect to win. That's usually what happens. But hey, as we were saying, shameful display, showing that they're not that shameful. They're here to prove themselves. They want to win. They want some of that prize pool money. They want to get as high ranking as possible. Prove to these players that they're basically just they can do it. They can do it, and they've been doing so till now. So yeah, excited to see. So actually, let me check if Shameful Display have a. Do they have a force member? Maybe no. Actually, they only have these three players. So there we go. So they'll be, I guess, exclusively playing that LSP matchup. And I mean, they look strong on it. I don't see why they would swap off. But yeah, some teams, guys actually have 4 players. That is a choice you can make on the tournament. You're actually allowed to have 4 players on the roster.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm not going to cut you off. But personally, I want to see the prop warrior pop out with Lurker, see a bit of VA. That'd be a personal favorite of my choice, obviously being a prop warrior myself.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Save your arena matches up.
The arena matchup indeed, and looks like the team of Shameful Display actually going to be deciding to play on a different map. It's going to be Daller and Arena. So that honestly, maps can make an impact, especially on some composition. Honestly, they can definitely make an impact. So maybe that arena, I feel like that arena will be huge with the thunderstorms off the edges. I feel like that can definitely give an advantage to the Ellie Shaman compared to a map like Nagran, which is completely flat. There's no Z-axis, so obviously like teams that have knocks are usually a bit, can really exploit that part, and maybe just just have a better advantage. So potential good choice here, good choice of map by Shameful Display. Scores 1-1 against the team of Wheezy, and we're gonna be going in right now. It's gonna be interesting to see where they position themselves. We've seen the rest actually pop in the scatter instantly. Jaeger gets CS on the Hex. Good job by Mercy, instantly shutting that down for his team. Peeps, big CDs being popped here by Neressa. He's gonna be popping everything on the Warrior. It actually, looks like Reddy's actually gonna be going on the Warlock on this map.
Yeah, Mercedes taking a lot of damage, down to 60% right away, and I think this is Jagger actually down 20%. It's get pinned as well, so you can see the grounding coming out there from Jagger, and it's gonna be fine. Blat is gonna be able to heal him up. I think that's a choice from Reddy to stop some of Mercedes' damage compared to last game. As you can see, I'm going on to him here again.
Yeah, which is gonna be hard, right, on this map. I mean, the port up and down is gonna be very hard for Reddy to connect. The Heroism is just expired right now, so the team of Wheezy is doing much better right now. The Hellstone here is going to be popped by Bruce Pally. I like this pressure from Reddy and his team. They're actually making good swaps, very good swap, forcing the CDs left and right.
Bubble.
Yeah, that was a great swap by the team of Shameful Display. They're forcing a big cooldowns out of Wheezy, and really pressure has been doing pretty well. And the rest is doing a good job putting the scatter as much as he can, stopping that Hex onto Jaeger. Now it's going to be a CS or stopped again. Ooh, and now we see the big thunderstorm here knocking. I don't know, Christian didn't knock that many things off. Neressa still seems to be the main target.
You can see it feels like Reddy wants to sit on Bruce Pal as well, because the bubble is down, so he doesn't really have that much left for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Bruce Pally is actually, as you said, be the target. He doesn't seem to. He's actually behind the pillar now. He's kiting well, though. We see the trap that's going to be slowing the entire team. Ooh, and a lot of pressure now onto Neressa. He's going to pop the Shadow Meld. Disengage back. He should be okay. The bubble on the other side has been popped. On both of it's going to be bopped. Or it's going to be used at the same time. So big CDs defensively are going to be used on a team of Shameful Display.
You can see both teams are fine at the moment. You can see Reddy here just trying to connect to Bruce Pala. Bruce Pala freeing himself and taking a lot of damage. You can see that Warrior, when he finally connects, it's a lot of damage. It just pushes him down. So Bruce Pala's going to have to be real careful about his position. You can see he gets knocked down.
No, Drinking Bubble is in a dangerous position. It's going to be all over. Yeah, I think it is.
Ooh, and what a knock by Jaeger. That map show is definitely paying off. Bruce did pop his wings. Not enough. Gets knocked in the right down below on Dalaran Arena, gets charged, stunned, and finished. That was such a great, honestly, great target choice by the team of Shameful Display. It's like they really had a game plan in that series. It's like they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew why they picked this map, and honestly, they played out pretty good. And right, that's gonna be it. 2-1 for the team of Shameful Display. Must be feeling quite good, beating a second seeded team in a tournament. That must be a great start for a great start for them, simply.
Yeah, and that just shows like the level of these players, that the team from the 7th position and the second one, it's not that big of a difference. Like, it's an even playing field. Anybody can win the matchups. And it's really fun to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, some of the longest games we've seen, but I mean, both teams showed what they could do, but I feel like they were a bit surprised maybe by the target choice. I mean, we saw the first 2 games between these teams, and they were not touching Bruce Pally almost at all. And boom, as soon as we hit Dalaran Arena, they're like, okay, we're going Pally only. Like there was no doubt in their minds that Bruce was the kill target. And I feel like they were maybe not that ready, and maybe not ready for that situation. And it seemed really hard to peel them off on that matchup. And yep, as we said, Shameful Display gonna be taking the lead. Must be feeling quite good, putting these points on the board, closer and closer to that rank 1 spot in the tournament. And I guess we'll be looking at our next matchup.
Yes, which is going to be one of the crowd favorites for sure. You have O Wings, I Don't Care, which is Homer J's jungle slash PHP combo, and they're going to be playing against the other TSG, which is Inspire, Pacifical, and Onita from Ice Crown. So this is going to be one hell of a game to watch.
Ooh, yes, that will be for sure. Number third seeded team versus the sixth seeded team. So iWings IDC versus Gone in a Wink. Gone in a Wink, Inspire, Pacifical, Onita. And on the other side, we were saying iWings, I don't care. Okay, yep. Interesting team choice, team name. I'm trying to find them on the thing.
Ninja.
That's Oddwaffle, Homer J, Capsizer, and Shixie.
Ooh, okay.
So
these
Shixie
names sound a bit more familiar. Are they also like I guess more of the well-known players on the Warmane?
Yeah, these are some of the more well-known, and they've been playing on arena tournament and Warmane for as long as I can remember personally, since I came to the server. And especially Homer J, one of those names that just been around for decades, just proving himself to be a top player throughout the years.
This is by far one of the most talked about teams in the competition. I mean, Homer J and Capsa is an absolutely deadly force of reckoning. I'm sure most players in the chat have experienced facing them many times in twos. The pressure output they can do is unreal, and Shixie also being their other choice of a jungle, an absolutely astonishing feral, who's also proven himself to be by far probably the top feral at the moment on Warmane. And their team synergy is fantastic. They've practiced and worked hard a lot for this. So we shall see how this goes, but I know where my thoughts are.
All right, I'm excited to see a disc breeze, to be honest. PHP and jungles, surprisingly two compositions who have through times and times are still popular in today. Like for example, on even on live servers, it's crazy that some compositions just kind of go through time and just still work today. So I'm excited to see these matchups and what they can do against Gone in a Wink. So Gone in a Wink playing that TSG or potentially the LSP. That's of course going to be up to the teams, whichever they decide to blind pick. So what do you guys think? What is usually the most favorite matchup? You guys were talking about LSP. We saw TSG the first, though. That was the very first series this tournament, and it was actually they seem to be struggling again. They actually fought an LSP, I think, didn't they? And it actually seems to be kind of a hard matchup. Now, of course, they're going to be against a totally different matchup, but TSG is versus LSP. Who do you think is LSP usually a more favorable matchup overall compared to TSG?
I do think, as with everything, it's very much dependent on the players. However, LSP is one of the more dominant comps for sure. You don't see many TSGs on the ladder, but it's hard work for them, especially with the map choices that they had. It wasn't really ideal, especially in the Ruins game.
Okay, fair enough. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see these games. For those joining us now, guys, this is the Warmane Invitational Tournament. It is day one. We're on the third series. And we had some very, very intense games. The games have been very fast paced, and it's been quite exciting to watch. And we're going to have some more teams coming up. Of course, you can see the matchups of both teams on your screen. And if you want to see the brackets and all the players' information related to the tournament, you can see that in the section right below. And we're just waiting for these teams to get in the arena. And
the players have just joined the arena, so the gate should be opening in a little bit. And we'll see teams fight out on Nagrand Arena this time.
Absolutely. And we're going to see the matchups that these teams have decided to pick. Of course, for Homer Janko, it's basically going to be Hunter plus Disc, and then they'll swap out the Feral, for the red, basically. But that's going to be it. And same thing for Gun and a Wing. It's Warrior and Pally are basically going to play all the time, and then we'll see if they decide to pick the Death Knight for the first game or the Elemental Shaman. I have a feeling, we were saying the Elemental Shaman usually has a bit of an advantage or a bit of better edge than a DK, so that's probably going to be the choice. And the gates just open and looks like it's going to be a PHP versus Elemental Warrior and Holy Paladin.
That's exactly, you can see the PHP just going for the Bulgarian Pro right away here, and Bulgarian just trying to set back and fall back a bit and try to play the pillar and force the Disc Priest into the open.
Yeah, Pet, the priest, is gonna be popping his actually his power infusion right away in the start. Zac actually popped here by Pacifical, trying to keep his warrior offensive as he could. He's gonna be tossing some heals onto him, and woo, actually that was a big burst. Yes, he has to use his ratio on that stun. Capitizer is playing safe. He's trying to pull back. Now he's trying to go back in, trying to get some pressure. Looks like he's trying to run actually after the warrior. No, actually, wait, sorry. He's actually going back. Capitizer is actually going back. He's playing safe. He's trying to kites. Going back to his Disc Priest.
Yeah, you can see here Homer G trying to get some pressure on Tornado as well. But Capsizer just really needs to get back and get topped off so he can go aggressive here and get some pressure onto the Thundercleave. And it feels like this Thundercleave is just fine for at the moment.
I feel like they're kind of trying to outlast them. We see now the Heroism with a stun popped onto Capitizer. Big damage incoming onto the Red Paladin. You can see him now trying to kite Death's Warrior, but he can't really get away. He doesn't have freedom available right now. He's gonna be taking a lot of damage, and his Disc Priest actually has to pump so many heals, but Bulgarian Pro actually has to get bopped. Nice bob by Pacifical at the same time, trying to keep the pressure up for his team. And honestly, the mana of this Disc Priest is going dangerously low. He's been pumping heals. We see the fear now onto Bulgarian Pro. Is not going to be able to get out of that. Pressure is onto Capsizer. He might have to use the Divine Shield. He's playing safe for now, playing very passive. I like this, trying to really delay his cooldowns.
Yeah, you can see the Ornita taking a lot of damage as well, so he just could not follow behind the pillar. He would have been in trouble if he did. And there's pressure being thrown back and forth between these two teams. We can see the wings coming out here from Capsizer as well. It's going to be a lot of damage on top of somebody, but at the same time, he does not have the bubble.
He's trying to connect. He's trying to connect. He finally gets to connect. Bulgarian Pro just gets destroyed. Oh, I feel like he should have tried to kite. Yeah, the wings barely ended there. He still had the burst ready. And Homer J and his squad will be taking the first game against that Eli Pally Holy Pal team. A really nice strengths of display here by this team.
And that was the damage that I was talking about when it comes to Homer J and Capsizer. As soon as that wings came out, unbelievable amount of damage. They just played safe, tried to pull as many cooldowns as possible beforehand, and then boom.
Yeah, getting that bop on the Shaman before, and just knowing that he doesn't have any of those big cooldowns left, and then just popping the wings after that, just the damage from the PHP is just amazing and just so much. So it's real hard for the team to manage that.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt a bit like the pressure was more, and they feel like he was obviously struggling more in terms of mana, but he actually managed to recover some of the mana during the games, and it felt like he was just gonna go Umla at this rate, but they did manage to turn that pressure around. Homer J, as you were saying, player with a lot of experience in tournaments, a lot of experience on the server, and it shows now. Gonna be taking the first game here in the series. Very important game to win, as we were saying, especially in the best out of 3. 2 games. If you lose 2 games, you're out. So winning the first game, especially a potential blind pick win, is definitely a good thing for these teams, and we'll be seeing what they're playing next.
What do you think? Do you think we can see the TSG come out for this one, Ben?
I'm not sure actually. It's gonna be. I think the Thundercleave is a good choice, but I'm just seeing who they're gonna go on with the TSG. If they're just gonna go Surge, Oddwaffle, perhaps, and just go full TSG mode, full melee cleave. I wouldn't be surprised if they did actually. But it feels like Homer J and Capsizer has good awareness and knowledge about the composition and can help Oddwaffle a lot if that was the choice.
Yes, and of course it's going to be the map pick. It's going to be the map pick of Gone in a Wing. The losing team always chooses the map. So obviously Blade's Edge is going to be picked here. That's usually, we saw usually Ellie's, that's like, that's like their map picks. If there's a Z-axis, Thunderstorm will do work. They're going to pick that map. And actually, it might be a totally different game. Honestly, maps do play a huge role in these matchups, so they might feel more comfortable. Maybe like, okay, Nagrin was not a best choice. Here definitely will know what to do.
Yeah, you can see this PHP just does not want to fight upstairs. They know that the Shaman is gonna just want to play upstairs, and they really don't want to have those knocks down to below. Just really want to play behind the pillars.
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna have to be smart if they want to like drag them up. I feel like if the PHP decides to stay down, then one of the teams eventually is gonna have to get to combat. Here we see Bulgarian pros trying to get some flame shocks. Doesn't land any. They're really playing thing. I feel like Homage J and his team, they really have played that matchup many times. They must know that this is definitely not a good idea to go anywhere close to that bridge. So they're doing the best they can.
Both teams going for a very, very slow start here. Absolutely terrified of each other.
Yeah, it's basically a chicken race who can just stand their ground the longest.
Okay, well, looks like both teams right now. Oh, actually, no,
There
they
we
had
go.
enough. That was a hot minute. They pop in the big stack, actually going instantly with it. Capsizer actually gets speared. Heroism is now being popped. Capsizer is speared though. They actually not that much damage taken out. Actually, Bulgarian gets speared on his Heroism. A good job here by the Discipline Priest. Pressure is onto Anita. Actually decides to trigger that Hodge. Good choice by him. There was a lot of CDs for the team of Homage J.
Yeah, you can see both sacks has been used here from Pacifico, and that's some big cooldowns there going out. And you can see Bulgarians, he's just purging as much as he can, just getting the cleansing totem out to manage with the serpent stings, and just purging to get a clean target so Onita can do the damage, the warrior damage for the Shadowmourne.
Wow. Well,
Destroyed down the global. That was just, I mean, they did not expect that. And Casa gets absolutely destroyed on this pick. Hey, it was I don't think the map really changed anything in that situation. But Casa definitely got surprised there. We're talking about that burst, that unpredictable damage at any time. We saw every game we've seen so far, there's been a huge amount of damage. And it's, sometimes if you don't hold your global right, that can be devastating. So anyways, they're gonna be putting a point back on the board, and back they finally have a chance to come back to this series and potentially win it. So yeah, it's gonna be we'll see if Gone in a Wink manages to do that.
I feel like the team name Gone in a Wink is very fitting for what happened just there.
Absolutely, they had that prepared. They definitely had that win prepared. They knew it was gonna happen, and yeah, that's also very unfortunate when you lose a game like this. You've gained. I mean, they basically started fighting for like a minute, and then just dying like that, kind of without being able to use your defensive CDs must be a bit frustrating, honestly. But they have another chance to redeem themselves, of course, as it is a best out of 3. And yeah, we'll see what they'll be able to do. Of course, they'll be their map pick this time. Maybe they'll be more comfortable on another map. Oh yeah, looks like this team is ready. It looks like iWings is definitely ready. They locked that map instantly, and they want to get back into the grand. They definitely did not like the running in Blade's Edge.
Feels like in this meta, you got to be one step ahead at all times with knowing when the damage is going to come as well. Like you can see the Shaman just purging and purging for so long and just keeping his opponents cleaned. And when Onita finally connects, it's just going to be amazing damage going right into the opponents.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, same matchups are going to be played on both sides. 1-1 in the score. A lot of pressure for this team. Of course, Capsizer must be not feeling very good. He's going to want to redeem himself, I feel like. And yeah, I'm sure he wants to prove to this team that, hey,
yeah, the pressure really is on. That was definitely a very unpredictable outcome for that game. I think they're going to be staying very, very tight to pillar this time.
Feels like both teams have massive respect for each other and the damage they both can put out. Just like in the game before, the PHP just executed Bulgarian Pro with the wings.
Onita charging in. Storm actually on Pacifico. They're going to go in the Holy Pally. Bubble is going to have to come out. Gets actually wind sheared on the Master Spell. Great job by Bulgarian Pro here to deny that Master Spell on his Holy Paladin.
That's a really fast start there coming out from the PHP, just showing that they really want this win and going out with the leader in this series. You can now see Homer JD going down 20% and 18% actually right away
Actually,
gets
it's
bopped.
bopped. Interesting choice.
Bob
Instead
and
of
deterrence.
Ooh, bit of an overlap here, unfortunately. Now pressure back to Capsizer, and this damage just unrelenting. Capsizer is going to be pressing the Divine Shield this time, though. He's going to be safe. Pacifico actually doesn't have bubbles, so maybe we'll see if they decide to make that choice of swapping again. Divine Him has been popped by the Discipline Priest, trying to top his team back off, but really a lot of CDs have been forced on the team of Homer J, and defensively they must be a bit scared. We see the rep now. It's actually going to be trinketed by Pacifico. He's going to train that rep. He wants to keep his team offensive, make sure his warriors are as offensive as possible.
Yeah, and if this PHP can get the game under control and they can get the wings out in the right time, it's going to be some scary damage for the Stunner to take into consideration.
I mean, Castle doesn't have Bop now here. The pain suppression is going to have to be used. The wings are going to be popped. Ooh, let's see if he can Castle can connect. Oh, he wants him. He wants Pacifico. I think it's going to be over. He can kick him here.
Wow, Pacifico
caught in the middle of the map. A great choice by Capsizer, holding to his wings for the right time. Saw that opening and Pacifico got surprised there a bit for that swap. It was a good swap. They forced the bubble and started the game. Capsizer held his wings, ready for the second go, and just finished him off. And iWings proving, that they're a top team contenders, and that they're here to win. They're here to win. The last game was maybe a fluke, but now they're here to win.
Yeah, I like how they were so aggressive in the start, just ran behind their opponent's pillar there and just opened on Pacifico right away. And just forced a bubble in the first 5-10 seconds of the game.
It was massive how they managed to force a bubble before Capsize using his wings. Right. It was definitely worthwhile investment from them. As you can see, he just got absolutely destroyed with no bubble left. When Capsize the wings, it's just scary damage.
And like Zuni said, Bulgarian Pro with the clutch wind shear on Master Spell as well. Really important.
I have to say that's an insanely fast wind shear. Really well played.
Just show like what level these players are on.
Yep, that is a below 0.5 second cast. So you had some pretty fast reaction to do that. So great job by him. Unfortunately, not enough for the team of Gone in a Wink. They're gonna be gone in a wink. Unfortunately, you had this game. That was a bit of a faster game. But hey, we'll see more of them, of course. There's gonna be more matchups coming up for all of these teams that we're watching right now, and I guess maybe we can talk about the next matchup for now.
Yep, so as we can see for our next matchup, we have Nose Merchants, which is another one of the crowd favorite teams, which is Sumic, and Machine, playing WLP only, and they are versus a TC, which is called Saiku, if I'm pronouncing that right. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know Russian, unfortunately. I'm assuming that's Russian. I don't know Russians, maybe, but that seems like a fair pronunciation, honestly. I mean,
as you can see, a lot of undercleaves. However, this is an extremely strong WLP, and they've been playing together a long time. Have fantastic team synergy.
Yeah, and you can see here as Psyche only has the main team composition, they do not have a fourth player compared to Nose Merchants, which can change their healer wholly for a Disc Priest, depending on what they're facing. And I think this is one of the things that's going to be really crucial in the closer we get to the finals, to having that fourth player and having different compositions.
Yeah, I feel so too. I mean, unless you have very, very strong synergy and very high caliber players with only 3, hey, we've seen it before. It's doable. Some players can manage, but obviously you're at a bit of a disadvantage. Of course, one of the advantages of having one less player on the team is you get a bit more money, but obviously a bit less chance to win also, since you don't have that force member option. But yeah, anyways, guys, we're gonna be heading straight into Niagara Arena. These games are gonna be pumping throughout the day. We're currently on a Force series. Nose Merchant versus Saiku. Interesting name, Nose Merchants. How did they come up with that name? Is there any backstory here, guys?
I feel there is a bit of a backstory to this, but I will refrain on commenting.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get straight into the game. And actually, Sumi is going to be playing his Discipline Priest. Going to be popping the PI instantly. He's actually pumping the spells here in the start.
You can see the Thunder Cleave just trying to connect to the Warlock, just stopping damage coming out. But Lorian taking a lot of damage, around 30% right away. Having to pop that shield block to not take so much damage. You can see Machine just hitting whoever he can, is swapping down to Shizgara. and
Sumi
dropping
is
him
just
down to
spam Pershing,
4%.
playing so aggressively, and Keanu is actually struggling so hard. Chizgar gets absolutely destroyed on the swap here, and this pressure from Sumik and Machine was just unstoppable. Like Sumi playing so offensive with the dispels, and Keanu just couldn't react to that pressure. He was like, oh, he definitely wasn't ready. Like, oof. Not only the games are fast paced, but when a team plays aggressive like this, you gotta react fast. You gotta react fast, or
Well,
or
that
the
was by
game
far the
might end like
quickest match of the
this.
day. As you can see, Asumi doing more damage than Vieli and almost as much damage as Warrior there, playing absolutely aggressively. So much pressure. That's just unrecoverable. I feel like we're going to have to play a lot more careful if they want to have any chance of winning this next game.
Yeah, the damage difference between the both teams was just incredible. It didn't feel like the Psyche team was in a different space. They really need to wake up and get some pressure going and stopping the other team from doing as much as they did and being so aggressive. You gotta make the Priest not being able to dispel offensive all the time and not doing damage.
Yeah, that seemed definitely rough for the team of Psyche, but hey, they've instantly locked the map. They're ready for a rematch, of course, best out of 3. So they're gonna have another chance here to prove themselves and potentially tie the series. It's going to be on Dalaran Arena once again. Talking about the Z-axis map as soon as there's an Ali Shaman, involved, and that should honestly help them a bit. I would say like the Thunderstorm definitely on the Warrior can do work. Really to alleviate that pressure. It really felt like it was unstoppable, but it was maybe of a, it is the first when it's your first game and you're maybe not as used to competing in a tournament, sometimes your nerves, a little pressure, a little bit of stress can go into games, and maybe that's what surprised them. We'll see anyways if Psyche can redeem themselves here on Dalaran Arena.
I feel like they're going to be respecting the damage a lot more this time and playing a lot more defensively. So they're so far behind from the start.
I can see the opening here onto Lorient X. But actually Machine dropping down to 65% right away. But he's gonna get topped off right away. And Lorient down 20%, popping the shield block, just the same sort as last game. The knock comes out from Shizgara.
Yeah, Machine is actually just a machine on Lawrence. I feel like Lawrence just doesn't know what to do, pops the Spirit Flag, really trying to reduce as much damage as he can. Keanu is doing his best to stop the damage as well, but this pressure is just so hard. Machine now taking a bit of damage, popping the Spirit Flag, going back to battle. Here's the Hura's big damage is going to be incoming. It's like who the target of choice is going to be.
Got the Blaze Storm onto Shizgara as well, dropping down to 50, but it's going to be fine. And this Thunderclave really needs to get some pressure out onto the opponents here. To recover.
Nice really gonna be stabilizing his team, so he's doing a good job here once again. I mean, the Hurlers is popping. Oh, finally, Sumik taking the damage. Gonna be popping the Hellstone. He's gonna be good down. Probably gonna pour it up very soon. We see the Thunderstorm actually. Sumik really needs to get back up as soon as he can. Actually gets pain suppression. Gets his pain suppression. Actually, his pour is not ready. That is why he can't currently go back up. So he's gonna be stuck below there. We see now the pressure though. Keanu is struggling to heal him once again. So much damage on his team. He actually might have to bubble himself here in a few seconds. Lauren actually had to pop the shield wall as well. Keanu not panicking this time, topping his team.
As you can see, Sumi's still staying consistent with the dispels, trying to keep that pressure up.
Machine took a big chunk of damage. He had a very good reaction with the shield wall instantly by Machine. Oh, he actually took a big chunk of damage here by Shizgara, the Ali Shaman.
I think this was a really good map choice from the Thunderclave here. He got the bot out on Shizgara as well. It's gonna get instantly purged off though, but it might just be enough to get him topped off again.
Good job by Sumi here with the offense of the spell. That was his power infusion too. Bubble in the meantime was actually popped by Keanu here. He actually decides to hodge here. Who did he pop the hodge on? Let's see. I think it actually got the spell
on Sumi and got a trinket from it.
Oh, okay, Sumi did actually trinket that go. It looks like Sumik is the main choice of target. He has his part ready in a couple seconds. Ooh, he doesn't have to actually, he has to use that Void Walker to. Oh, but Lauren's taking so much chance at the same time. Port comes back up, so Sumik should be fine, and the pressure is really bouncing back and forth right now.
That's a completely different game to the first one. This is just completely different type of gameplay. The pressure is bouncing back and forth between both teams here.
Both healers, man, are looking dangerously low at this point. It's just a complete pressure race.
Yeah, so it's like both warriors are kind of just tulling into each other at this point. trying to get to their main target. Machine just taking so much damage, gets Hodge. Sumi might not have the mana here to dispel, and he actually decides to heal him instead. Hellstone in the region are going to be used, so he should be fine. For now, at least. But Keanu, as you said, is completely tapped on mana. I'm not sure if he can actually top his team, but Machine just actually can't get top. That was nice Hex onto Sumi. That actually might cut the deal. Power Shield, Penance are going to be popped. Barely going to be topping Machine. Oh, that was such a good Hex by Shizgara. It actually might close out the deal. The pressure is just unstoppable now. The Rallying Cry is going to be popped as well. Oof, Machine might be in trouble. Then he actually intervenes back. He's trying to get away. He just simply can't. I think Sumi can do it. The mana is not going to be enough. Pops to Hymn of Hope, but not in time. And he actually had no mana here to heal him. A much different games, like you guys were saying here, by his team. Definitely proving themselves once again that they have a shot in this tournament.
Incredible job from Keanu there, keeping it going with absolutely no mana for like 30 seconds towards the end of the game, just still using every global.
Yeah, just swapping there to his Blessing of Wisdom and Seal of Wisdom, and just trying to get some type of mana from hitting and just keeping his team alive. It's some great plays there from Keanu. And you can just see that they had a lot more respect for the Sumi's team there.
I mean, they definitely had to after the first game, and they did this time.
Absolutely, and Saiku here. I'm assuming it's a Russian team, right? You know, proving to the crowd that they have what it takes to compete once again against the Nose Merchants.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Nose Merchant spam going on in chat.
And so, you know, we're talking Nose Merchant actually has the option to swap out to that Holy Pally. Do you think that might be an option? I mean, they seem confident on the first game, but this second game, of course, was a map pick by the team of Saiku. But will the Holy Pally have a better advantage, do you think, in this matchup?
I think the Priest is a good choice though. Like with their aggressive playstyle together, I think they kind of got the map choice from Saiku was so good with the Shaman play. I think on Dalaran maybe it's better with the Paladin, but on another map I think the Priest can actually contribute more in the favor of Nose Merchant's team.
I feel like the knocks were definitely the biggest problem for them there. I mean, with the Priest play, they're playing extremely offensive, and that's just causing them to get so much pressure. Swapping to the Paladin is, of course, a potential option, but that was just a very, very unfavorable map. If anything, Paladin on that map would have been probably the ideal.
Okay, fair enough. But so Nose Merchants, of course, gonna be choosing the next arena map. Losing team always picks the map. So that should be a more, I'm sure, you know, they're obviously they might pick Nagran again. I assume it feels like most teams that don't have an Ellie usually pick Nagran again. Of course, Nagran throughout the years has been really the flavored map, the most favorite map by most players. So I feel like most people are trying to pick that.
Definitely by far. As we've seen through the years through tournaments, Nagran is always the favorite map.
Those Merchants taking their time. With maybe the map pick, maybe the comp pick. Actually, the game is ready, but it did take a few seconds here to make sure that they, you know, maybe discuss some strategizing, some things they want to change in the game, maybe, you know, cool off a bit after that loss and just kind of refocus, go back in the game, and it is going to be on Nagran Arena, as we were saying. Hopefully, bit of better luck for them here. Score is tied 1-1. So winner takes it all. Best out of 3. This is the first series for these teams in this tournament, so a lot on the line. Games are so fast-paced. Any crucial mistake, we were saying at the beginning of this tournament when it began, when the games are so fast-paced, really every decision that you make matters a lot. So we're going to have to see who here is going to take the edge.
Especially if it being a best of 3, so unforgiving.
For sure.
And you can see here they're still keeping Sumi on the Disc Priest here and not swapping to the Holy Paladin that they have in their lineup. And you can see Machine just going right away, right for Lorient.
Machine training out blows, but he's taking the most damage here actually. He has to pop a defensive stance for a second. Pop that shield block. Sumi now pumping the dispels. Trying to keep his team aggressive. Oh,
She's
the
not
chill
so
wall
much
actually has
pressure.
been popped. Sumi's actually really struggling to heal his warrior right there. Ooh, on the other side, Keanu popping that sack. Trying to keep his team aggressive. We see the heroes now. That's when the pressure is going to start. But she knows it. He's going to go back behind the pillar. Looks like Sumi is actually going to try and dispel that heroism. I think that's what he's trying to do. Hellstone's going to be used this arm also on Lauren. Machine really doing whatever he can to really delay this heroism as much as he can. Actually, a nice spell lock onto Keanu here by Summik. He's going to cross some pressure, but he seems to be fine after all. A nice Tremor Totem here on the fear by Shizgar. Really aware of that CC chain.
The Machine is still
taking constant pressure, yeah. It's just
he's just not being able to do any damage and any pressure. He can get the PS onto Machine as well here, and the shield block. He's trying to stay alive.
Nice hex onto Simic now. Shizgar is doing a really good job, really crossy seeing that Warlock with the wind shears, with the groundings, with the hex, really trying to lower that Warlock's constant overall damage. Machine has stabilized now a bit. Divine Hymn is going to be popped. Should be able to top his ward for a few seconds. Keanu still has String and Bubble available. It seems really hard for them to get any form of CC. You know, with the Tremor, with the ground, it's so hard for something to actually get CC. So they're going to have to try and outlast, I feel like, this team of Power Infusion now.
Sorry, is looking extremely low at the moment.
Lorient's gonna have to pop shield wall there just to survive there. And you can actually see Keanu's mana is kind of dipping quite low, while Sumi's mana is under control there at 16k.
Sumi is pumping on his mana. He's doing a really good job. The Bout now is going to be used. Keanu really throwing CDs one by one. He actually gets swapped to by a second by Summing. Then he forced the bubble. Good reaction by him.
Sumi was forced to the full hex there from Shizgara, and Shizgara and Laurent both sitting there around 60% HP, both of them. But Machine taking a lot of damage as well on the opposite team.
It might be that's their strategy to actually win on mana. I feel like, you know, it might actually be a viable option here. I feel like Paladin's so strong. Pressure still onto Machine. He's getting out Machine right now. He's doing his best. Charges to Shizgara.
Yeah, we got the Divine.
As much damage as can. It's gonna be hard though. I feel like any CC, any wind shear on Sumi, that may close the deal. Machine pops the spell reflect, intervenes back to the pillar. Oh, nice wind shear by Shizgara once again. Ooh, the penance coming clutch here. He's actually spamming the Holy Nova for global. He actually doesn't know what to do. This damage is unrelenting. Shizgara at the same time though might be dangerously low. This is super close. Honestly, Machine is gonna be the first to drop. And Summik and Sumi are going to be the first team to drop despite winning that first decisive game. Ooh, the Russian team proving that they're back in this game.
Yeah, that's a completely different match from the first game we saw when they got completely obliterated by Sumik and Machine. And these two games after that was just looked like a complete different team that was playing.
I've had Thundercleaves causing massive upsets already so early.
Hey, as you were saying, you know, if you have a good comp, if you're good players, you might not need a force player on the team or a force, you know, a force comp or a second comp, sorry. And yeah, Psyche, you're gonna be taking the lead, winning that first series of the tournament despite a very disappointing first game by them. I think they lost in the first in the first 30 seconds, but they bounced back.
The first game.
That's all that matters, you know. The only thing that matters is the score at the end of the series, and they're gonna be proving that they want to be, you know, they're worthy of being in the top ranks, the top teams of this tournament. And yeah, we'll be seeing more of these teams. Anyways, guys. Since I think we're currently down with the round 1 now, so we're gonna move on to the round 2. If you want to check the brackets, everything is below, so you can follow the action live. You can also see all the players that are on each team and every information related to the tournament. You can find that below. But I guess we'll be just talking about our next series, guys.
Gone in the Wink versus Nose Merchants.
So Nose Merchants gonna have to go right into the second.
Right back into another game.
Okay, so that might be a good thing, like it might be a bad thing. Playing instantly back again can be good. It can also be bad if you're still, you know, especially if you have a frustrating loss or if you're not really happy with your performance, then sometimes going to the game right after might not be the best, but it depends on players, honestly. Maybe they really want to get back into the games. I feel like they're these kind of players. I think they just lost, but they want to get back into the game. They want to prove They want to prove to the teams, to the viewers, to everybody that hey, they're here to win it. And yeah, as I said, they're gonna be going back into Gun and Wing, a team that we actually just saw previously too.
Yes, exactly. I think this is a really important series for both these teams, as both lost the first series. So it's really important for both these teams to take the W here. It's really important for both the statistics and for their team synergy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the morale has to be. I mean, if you losing a series is not fun, losing 2 series is even less fun. So hey, we'll see. We'll see who takes the advantage once again.
The match should be starting right now.
Awesome, awesome. So you guys gonna be able to see matchups as soon as the gate starts. Niagara Arena, of course, the first choice. Machine was really he was pumping, but he was getting out Machine a bit last game. I mean, he was just
Yeah, he had to be on the back foot the whole game. He was just taking damage and sat around 50% for the entirety of the game.
in any case, I feel like these players want to really redeem themselves after a loss, and they're gonna be fighting. We'll see that in a second. It might be actually the same matchups. It might be actually the same matchups. We'll confirm that when the gate opens. And yes, it's actually gonna be the same exact matchup. It's a bit of a deja vu for that team. Machine. As always, Machine, he's just used to take a beating. Pops in the spell with like Bulgarian Pro gets actually chunked at the same time. Heroism is going to be popped. This pressure is just insane right now. It actually gets bopped. Machine here gets rooted in the middle of the map. Shattering Throw actually is going to be popped. He's going to remove that bop. Great job by Machine, really playing super defensive. Actually triggers that Hodge as well. Blade Storm is going to be popped. A huge amount of CDs that are going to be forced.
Yeah, we got the disarm there out from Onuda, just trying to stop Machine's damage and try to give Bulgarian Pro some breathing room here to get some purges and damage out. Onuda actually popping Blaze Storm here and just getting a full Blaze Storm. I don't know if the disarm got parried or something, but Onuda just doing a lot of damage onto the Machine.
Yeah, absolutely. Machine really, he doesn't want to repeat the last game. He really wants to go as aggressive as he can, but he's getting tunneled by Onita, so it's really hard for him to kind of I feel like he's trying to connect to the Elemental Shaman, Bulgarian Pro. I feel like that's his main choice of target. No, he's retiring back. Sorry, he's going back behind the pillar, trying to reduce some of the pressure.
And this is so important. Like, Machine is forced to sit in sword and board a lot of the time right now, and that's a lot of pressure that he's not going to get out when compared to sitting with the Shadowmourne.
Absolutely, we saw the full Hodge onto Sumi. Man onto Sumi, not the high. He's gonna actually pop the Shadow Fiend, so he should be fine in a few seconds. The wing's gonna be popped by Pacifical. Trying to keep his team offensive. We see the pressure onto Summik. Ooh, barely ports out of the line of sight. Good job by him. That was a high chunk of damage coming in. Pacifical now pumping these heals with the wings up. Still up for a few seconds.
That's some big defensive cooldowns from Sumi as well. That's both the Divine Hymn and the PS on Sumik. There's not a lot of defensive cooldowns left for this LP.
Absolutely, he actually popped the Power Infusion as well. It's gonna reduce some of these spells mana cost. Bulgarian Pro now, the main target. Trying to cast that heal, it gets actually pummeled. No, actually, it wasn't the Blaze Storm. He wasn't able to pummel Bulgarian Pro. So Takar is gonna use the Thunderstorm, really getting Machine away from him. And that must not be fun to kind of get to on an Ellie Shaman as a warrior. When you have a warrior tunneling you, it must not be easy. That's why Machine is. He's trying to connect as much as he can, but it's not that easy sometimes when he has Anita just unrelentingly tunneling him this whole game.
And you can see Sumik's damage actually getting pressure on top of all 3 members in the opponent team. Onto both Anita, Bulgarian, and Pacifical. And Pacifical doing a real good job just trying to top his entire team off.
Absolutely, we saw a big chain lining, do a huge chunk of damage. Charge Stun now onto Anita. Machine gets Thunderstorm. Ooh, gets charged back. Dragged right back to his targets. Now Machine under so much trouble. He actually has the he actually does not have the shield wall. He actually just popped that along with the Railing Cry. These are his last lines of defenses, honestly. We actually might see a repeat of the last previous games. Machine just not able to play as aggressive as he wants to, has to retreat back, and in that way not able to create as much pressure as he can. I mean, Summik's doing the best he can, but without the Mortal Strike effect on the main target, it's going to be hard for Machine to really get a kill.
Yeah, both Machine and Sumi out of defensive cooldowns right here, and this is a really good time for this Thunderclave to get even more pressure out and just staying ahead of the game. and just forcing Machine to play defensive. But Bulgarian Pro dipping down to 50%. It's going to be the target right here. Trying to get some hexes out. You can see the Thunderstorm coming out there. And the Warlock damage, you can see both Anida and Bulgarian just dropping at the same time.
Yep, looks like Bulgarian's actually gonna try and get some kiting. Actually gets feared. Oh, actually Onita, sorry, taking so much damage. Had to reel and cry and reflect. A bit of a huge burst here by Stomach and Machine. I see a nice hex to kind of alleviate that pressure by Bulgarian Pro. Good job by him. That was critical in that situation here. Assuming now actually going for drink. Get stopped.
This is actually completely dry.
Down. Taking so much damage. Oh, it's his turn now to go defensive. Has to intervene back to his paladin. Now we see Pacifico actually, I think he popped the Divine Plea. Trying to get some mana back. He actually had to cancel it to heal his team back up.
Yeah, so we have to pop PS there on himself just to stay alive. He's trying to regain some mana here as well. Both healers are so dry, and you can see Pacifico just with the Divine Plea up. Just trying to get some mana. He's still having it up, and let's see, Bulgarian taking a lot of damage. Pacifico with the Wings cast as well, and Aura Mastery.
Absolutely. It feels like finally the pressure is turning around, surprisingly, because Sumi is but they're actually still able to put some heavy pressure on the team of Onita and Bulgarian. And looks like Machine now is in the driver's seats. He is in the driver's seats.
Sumi actually getting a couple of ticks of drink off behind the pillar there. That could be what saves him the game here, because he was completely tapped.
Hey, that would make the difference, honestly. That would make the difference.
Yeah, Pacifico, he could hold that entire Divine Plea, so he got one up to 5k mana there after when it was done. But Sumi down, he's out of mana again. He's actually trying to get some mana burns at that point.
Yeah, the Shadow Fiend in about a minute. Bob's going to be used onto Bulgarian. Pacifico, who doesn't have mana, I think is really trying to conserve his mana at this point.
You can see Sumik actually doing drain mana there on Pacifico as well, just trying to keep it getting dry. This is a really close game, just going back and forth. And Onita down 25%. Just trying to popping those piercing howls out, trying to get some distance.
It feels like both warriors are actually very scared now. Machine in the driver's seat though for now. He knows, he sees the pressure coming. He gets rooted though, gets dispelled. Good job by Sumi. Onita now is really the one getting the pressure. He's really like a reverse situation compared to the start of the game. Machine gets like, nicely peeled though.
Feels like this Warlock Warrior play team has got what they're doing the best, like getting spread pressure up, and Bulgarian Pro is just gonna fall.
Yeah, and that's gonna be it. Stomach finally managed to get the killing haunt onto Bulgarian Pro after a long and stressful game of just being on the defensive for so long. But hey, the team of Nose Merchants showing what they can do, and even despite like the first 2-3 minutes, we were very tough with them defensively, able to pull that win, and able to just put a point on the scoreboard, honestly.
At the end there, Machine had an absolutely fantastic use of his sweeping strikes. Everybody was stacked up. Didn't even have Storm available, just used it with regular damage and got some amazing spread pressure. Sumik just rolling the damage out as well. As you can see, they were all down. You
can see Sumik on the top of the damage meters when the game was over. Just like the spread pressure he gets from just getting his dots up on all three at the same time and just keeping them up. It's gonna be a real hard time for the opponents to keep the entire team alive in the long run.
And Gone in a Wink, Nose Merchant, sorry, gonna be, yeah, Nose Merchant's gonna be taking that win. Hey, they must be feeling good though, winning against that matchup that seems to be a bit struggling, and must be feeling good though, finally getting the W, but it is not over. Still got potentially 2 more games to go. Of course, best out of 3, so they're gonna have to win at least 1 more game. And honestly, I mean, even if they won that game, I don't think they were like 100% comfortable during most of the matchup. It seems very nerve-wracking to survive that, especially for Machine, who just gets basically just tunnel almost most of the game, so it must not be fun. And despite that, managed to get the win. And yeah, now it's gonna be the map pick.
Yeah, and we got Dalaran Arena coming up here. It feels like it's a trend now. We got the first match on in the Grand, and then the second one is on Dalaran Arena, when we have the Elemental Shamans on the team that's picking the map. And I think this is a really good choice of a map pick for the Thundercleave.
Absolutely, and yeah, it seems like a kind of like a repeat. It's just a kind of like a it's like automatic at this point. It's like, okay, if you have an ally, you lose, you pick Blades or Dalaran, and if you don't, then you always pick Nagran. So these teams know exactly what they're doing, and we're gonna go straight back into the second game. Sumi, Stomach, and Machine definitely want to get this win here, win the series. Let's see what Machine can do.
You can actually see Onita going straight for Sumi here. But Onita taking a lot of damage, down 30%, have to pop the self-heal block
That
and
was a
spell
risky
deflection.
move. That was a risky move by Onita going below there. Nice job by Sumi's dragging him down with the pressure now. Hurrican's gonna be popped. Big chunk of damage. Actually, Pacific Ultra getting that. I'm not sure what he triggered there for a second. Pops sacked onto Bulgarian and the Bop. Huge amount of CD. Defensively, he's gonna use Stomach now. Is the main choice of target. Ports back up. Should be okay for now.
Onita taking a lot of damage, have to pop in the shield wall. We've seen both block, spell deflection, and shield wall coming out really early from Onita. It's gonna be might be a problem in the future.
If the nose merchant can win on this map, it's gonna be a great relief because it's definitely probably one of the hardest maps for them to win. Now, Stomach actually doesn't have a port, so he's gonna have to kite. Uses that Shadow Flame. Good job by him. Really trying to kite that warrior as much as he can. Really, really crucial kiting here by He's trying to get the Berserker. He's actually min-maxing the range on the charge here. Good job by Stomach. Really trying to deny that mobility on the warrior.
You can see the split pressure coming onto both Bulgarian and Onita as well. Onita down 30% here, 20%. It does not have wall or shield
That
block.
charge stun, and that was it. Onita not able to. Oof, I'm not sure if he has something to survive. Actually, has charged on 20%. Machine finishes him off, and the nose merchants just honestly just much more they're feeling much more comfortable and confident in that matchup against Gone in a Wing. Gonna be winning this series 2-0.
As you can see from the scoreboard at the end there, the offensive play from Machine was just so dominant.
It's like you said, Zuni, before, like Nose Merchants just came out of losing the first series and they just wanted to get the revenge right away.
Oh yeah, they were. You can tell they were warm. They were just ready to go. They're like, not again. No, we're not gonna lose the same matchup again. And they proved us right. 2-0 for the Nose Merchants after losing their previous series 2-1 to the same composition. And I mean, I guess that kind of shows us that it's not just about the matchups. It's not just about the comps that you run. It's also the way it is played, and even at this level, like you can make some adjustments. You can make some maybe some strategy adjustments to actually get the win, and that's what we just saw right now. Gone in a Wink. Unfortunately, it's gonna be the second series loss of this tournament. So must not be feeling very good, but we will see more of them. Of course, they're not completely out yet, and yeah.
Yeah, in our next series we got PsyQ versus Old Division. We just saw PsyQ the game previous to Gone in a Wink and Nose Merchants, the one versus Nose Merchants, and where they're facing Old Division that's playing the TSG that we saw in the first series of them all that opened up versus Damage with me. And this is the game that Old Division really wants to come back and show that they're worthy of this tournament.
Absolutely, and looks like the teams are ready to go. They're ready to fight. And we will see what these teams have decided to pick. So Old Division, actually we did see Old Division. They were actually the first series of this tournament. They were against Damage with me. They unfortunately lost 2-0 in a pretty swift fashion. So they're gonna be wanting to redeem themselves here against PsyQ. PsyQ who won. Who just actually won against the Nose Merchants, so they must be feeling pretty good. Gonna be fighting. Okay, so we're gonna get into the game in a second.
First map in the Grand Arena, the favourable map as always.
Ooh, and I feel like we might. Oh yeah, so Old Division, they did play the TSG, and it looks like it's gonna be. Oh, that's an early matchup. Yeah, they're the team that exclusively plays TSG, and here we go again. They're gonna go against the very, very scary Elemental Shaman, Holy Paladin, and Warrior. Looks like both teams kind of playing passively. Actually gets gripped in. I like that. Pet stun.
Behind the pillar.
Onto Shizgara.
Gets a thunderstorm out from Shizgara, just trying to get some distance between the TSG. But look at the TSG just popping
Scar's
down.
going straight back in.
We got the bot there
Huge
onto
shot.
Shizgara just to survive this damage from the TSG. It gets topped off by Knopf, or by Keanu.
Yeah, absolutely. Scar
was popped just before. We're going to see some counter pressure up here.
Let's see Elemental
Zonga
Mash.
taking huge amounts of damage.
Zonga gets Hex low. Heroism is still up for a few seconds, so that's where we'll probably see a lot of pressure on the team of that TSG. Zonga now gets freedomed up. Ooh, gets thunderstormed, charges right back out onto Shizgara.
Shizgara really needs to get some distance from this TSG, so she doesn't just eat the melee cleave, which is doing a good job by getting some distance. But Lorien takes some damage instead. The TSG swapping up to the warrior. But look at Turkey, dropping down to 40%.
Yeah, Turkey's taking a lot of damage. Doesn't actually have his Amos. See, he has Icebound ready if needed. Actually gets bopped. Should be fine. Ooh, actually, I think the bop got dispelled instantly. The zone. The anti-magic is gonna have to be popped. We'll see if he can maybe thunderstorm him out. He does. A nice thunderstorm at Shizgara is doing so much work this game. And honestly, Turkey in so much trouble. Has to trigger the Hodge, but no, actually bubbles to avoid the wind shear, but not enough. And this TG gets absolutely demolished. Shizgara playing really well, dispelling the bop, knocking that anti-magic zone, and just completely countering every defensive mechanic, defensive cooldown, sorry, of that TSG. And unfortunately, Old Division taking another loss here. Gonna take another loss.
At the beginning, it looked like the TSG they got a lot of pressure on Shizgara there and got the bop instantly, but they seemed like they had a hard time regaining the pressure after the bop was gone. And the Thundercleave was just doing what they do best and just getting that pressure out.
The knock on zone there was absolutely phenomenal at the end.
Yeah, and with the charge stun on top of after the knock, just getting those charge stuns we can't parry or block.
Yeah, you can tell Shizgara was on top of his game there. He was ready. He knew it was coming. Didn't give his opponents a single chance. And yeah, leading the series 1-0. The team of Psycho. Honestly, Psycho's been playing. They've been pretty dominant so far. And all divisions they're gonna have to find a solution if they want a chance to to make it to the top rankings of this tournament. Of course, the higher ranked you are, the more money you make, the more pride. So must be important for these players. And yeah.
Yeah, so this next game is going to be in Ruins of Lordaeron. And this is, like we said before, this is going to be a nice team for the melee cleaves here.
Yeah, it seems to be the case that TSG do really like to smash. They did actually pick the same map. The first series they played against Damage was me. We'll see if it brings them any more luck than Nagrin. I feel like it's not really like a map issue. It's probably much more like a strategy issue at this point. It doesn't seem easy for them, to score a kill. They definitely take a lot of damage, so that they really rotate their CDs well defensively. Anyways, pressure full Hodge now onto Knob. Actually, both Paladin hodging themselves at the same time.
Look at Turkey though, dropping down 10% right away, popping that magic shell, just trying to stay alive, and the bone shield. But
Turkey just popped almost all the cities. He only has, I think, Icebound left at this point. I had to use AMS, Lichborn, and his heal there actually grips back Shizgara, trying to get some pressure onto him. But there was a bit of an overlap with the bop on Turkey, so Nop and Turkey actually don't have many CDs left, and I feel like the next C chain, actually they're swapping the pressure back onto Zonga. Zonga trying to charge back out onto the Elemental Shaman. Shield wall is gonna have to be bopped. Zonga just taking so much damage, and Nop is really struggling with that pressure.
It feels like this TSG really needs to get some pressure here. They're just using all their defensive cooldowns and expense to not getting any in return.
Yeah, I mean, the Gargoyle was popped, but unfortunately, no pressure from this Gargoyle. It just didn't really force anything on the side of Saiku. So Turkey now the main target of choice. We see the zone again. Shizgara, no knock ready, unfortunately. Not going to be able to knock him out. Ooh, that zone was crucial for Turkey to survive. He's taking so much damage, trying to spam the death strikes. Keep himself alive.
And Nof has used both his Trinket and Bubble now. He's out of the major cooldowns.
Watch. And that's gonna be it for Turkey. Not a chance. Shizgara tells him, get out of my game. And unfortunately, Old Division is gonna be losing their second series of this tournament. And oof, honestly, rough games for them. It doesn't seem easy. They just, yeah, it's just so much pressure the whole game. A few overlaps here and there, but honestly, I don't think it would have really made a difference. It just seems like that DK just gets absolutely crushed as soon as Saiku just sets up the burst, sets up their offensive cooldown. He just gets absolutely demolished, and Saiku gonna be taking the leads once again. Won two series so far in this tournament, and they're really in a good position so far.
Yeah, it's looking great for them. Winning games so close to each other. They just played not the series before this, but the one before that, and going out with the 2-0 lead in this one as well. They're gonna have a little bit of a break now to just chill and talk about the future games as well.
Oh, in our next matchups, we're going to see Homer J's team again with Odd Waffle and Capsizer and Shixie. See if they go for PHP on the jungle this time versus Shameful.
Ooh, yeah, and then so yeah, both these teams actually have been quite dominant. Shameful Display, of course, won their first series as well with iWings. So yeah, both these teams actually won their games. So now it's gonna be only one of these teams, of course, can win. So it's gonna be a strength of show. Gonna see which team will take it. And you guys have any predictions? Maybe you guys are a bit more familiar with the matchups and such and the meta.
I'm gonna predict a win for the PHP.
Ooh, okay.
The scary
I'm going to have to go for same.
Homer J Capsizer duo against the Thundercleave. The Shameful Display, it's Jagger, Boatival, and Retinol.
Yeah, we saw iWings, the team of Homer J, playing very aggressively. When they actually fought the same matchup, they went on the Holy Paladin, forced the bubble instantly, and then about a minute later, Capsizer popped his wings, caught the Holy Paladin, the Holy Paladin in the middle of the map, finished the deal. So we'll see if they actually adopt a similar strategy, going for that Holy Paladin, or if they'll play a bit more passive, maybe try and CC the Holy Paladin, maybe go for the Warrior and the Mental Shaman. But it seems a bit rough. You know, if Jagger does a good job, he can really deny the traps with the grounding, stop the fears, the tremors. So he actually has a lot of tools to really stop that CC chain onto his Holy Paladin.
So the gates opened, so next game started with early pressure onto Jagger already.
I can see actually Jagger dropping down to 70% with one hit from Capsizer. The damage is incredible.
Ooh, a nice sack on the Repentance actually going to be popped. That was critical. Ooh, the Drain Out Ratio also going to be popped by Jaeger, really popping every... he's actually going to... His Paladin was going to bubble. Both Paladins should be bubbling at the same time. This pressure is really, really insane at the start of this game.
We got the big sacrifice coming out from Capsizer as well. There's a lot of big cooldowns going back and forth from both teams. The Elemental Mastery was popped by Jagger a little bit ago as well. Got a disarm to Homer J, trying to get that MS off of his on his team.
I mean,
got a full... And we got a full hex on the Capsizer as well, just being forced to sit that. He has a trinket, but I think he's going to save it for a potential kill on himself, just to have another safety out.
Yeah, I mean, the Paladin of Shameful Display, Bayo, he actually doesn't have his trinket, doesn't have his bubbles. I feel like the next CC chain might be critical onto him. That next Hodge, the next potential trap or any form of CC might actually be the game. Capsizer has to be careful though. Doesn't have the bubble, gets dropped to 20%, gets pain suppression. Ooh, might have to actually pop the wings to counter the pressure. Reddy goes into defensive stance, pop the shield wall. That was critical. That was very important for him to do that. Capsizer almost taking globally. Reddy here, but Reddy actually reacting quite well with the shield wall. Actually might still be in trouble. The wings still gonna be up for a few seconds. We'll see if he's gonna be able to get the kill. Reddy just taking so much damage.
Yeah, we can see Bayo getting stuck into that Repentance as well, and Reddy not being able to get topped off, and still being under massive pressure, sitting that sword and board, intervening back to his Paladin.
Reddy playing safe, he knows it. His Paladin doesn't have a trinket, but now the pressure is going to be onto Jaeger. Capsizer is getting there. Catching up to that Ellie, gets bopped. I think a good choice. Might get... He actually gets the MD, I think, beyond the pillar. A good choice, but Capsizer unfortunately cannot connect to the Elemental Shaman. Pressure is still onto Capsizer. He's trying to pop these flash of lights, but he really doesn't have much left in the tank. Capsizer, what is he gonna do? He's really trying his best as can to... He has actually put in the sword and board right now to take some less damage. I like that choice. That's actually very critical. The full Hex, though, onto his Discipline Priest. Power Infusion's gonna be up. Might be able to top himself. He's pumping the flash shields. Actually gets the Hodge on the ready. That was some really good defensive plays by these two.
Yeah, it's just amazing work by Capsizer, just keeping distance from the warrior and just like helping out with some heals when he gets the proc. Just healing himself as well. Just helping the priest there in his team. Now
by Jaeger, make Capsizer back to the pillar, but looks like, I mean, Reddy has to be careful. He doesn't have shield wall, so if they can manage to lift to the next CDs, to wings, or the Hunter CDs, Reddy might be in trouble. But Bowdy actually has to trinket. Yeah, just had to trinket right now. Bubble still not available, of course. The fear now onto Homer J and Capsizer. Homer J decides to trinket.
Feels like both teams have recuperated and just seeing who can get the pressure now again. You can see the trinket coming out from Reddy as well. Just trying to stay on top of Capsizer. He knows that he doesn't have a bubble for 2 more minutes. Reddy taking a lot of damage, so down to 20%, intervening back to his paladin just to try and survive a little bit more. And Capsizer with the wings just wants to connect, but he does not want to follow behind the pillar because he knows if he does, it might be a bit of trouble.
He knows he's playing safe. He obviously still does know that. I think that bubble back, he doesn't pressure onto Jaeger. Use the grounding. The drain ratio, not enough. Capsizer, as soon as he connects to the target, he just big chunks of damage, and that is the strength that we can definitely tell the synergy is there between the Hunter, between Homer J and Capsizer. You know, as soon as they make the swap, boom, like targets just drop. And I-Wings taking the first game against Shameful Display. Shameful Display. You know, pulling their own weights. Unfortunately, not enough against this PHE, and you guys were calling it PHP. Seems to be actually quite dominant. But honestly, Capsizer was actually so low at some point. He actually had to pull out his sword and board. I thought that was kind of cool. Probably, honestly, the reason he survived, he was like on 10% while his priest was full hex. Pulled out his shield, get that extra armor, extra defensiveness, able to survive for a few seconds until his priest can top him back off, and managed to get the kill a few minutes later. So that was a very important move by him.
Yeah, I'm popping up with the healing mace and the healing shield as well to getting the extra spell power so he can heal himself when he's kiting. Just those little things that make a difference in the long run.
Yep, that was.
Of course, when it came down to the second wings, the damage output was once again it's like 100-0, literally. If he can connect with his back wings up.
Yeah, with the MS and damage from Homer J as well, it's just the damage is so much.
Not to mention Odd Waffle keeping on top of those dispels. You could see his last 4 globals there was just vampire.
Absolutely, but it is not over for Shameful Display. Of course, they're going to be picking the map.
It was a really even game. It went back and forth, and it looked like in the beginning that Capsizer was actually going to be the one that's falling down first, but they managed to keep him alive.
I mean, that's not a great feeling, yeah, when, especially as a red paladin. Like, the first 10 seconds, you have to use your bubble, like your main defensive ability, on such a long cooldown. I mean, you must definitely not feel safe, but hey, he managed to pull through, get the game going, keep the flow going, and get the win. But hey, definitely very nerve-wracking. They're going to have to play very well defensively again if they want to win this series.
I think you could see Capsizer playing a bit more defensively after the game has been going on for a little while, not going behind the pillar and playing a bit more cautious and taking the damage from the Thundercleave into consideration.
Of course, the heroism is also very scary parts, and I feel like once that heroism is over, they kind of stabilize a bit. But the first 40 seconds are definitely scary. Homer J. Now we see the Hodge into Repent. Actually, on the Shaman, I like that. Jaeger thing actually going to force the bubble instantly on Bayo. He's not going to hesitate. He's going to actually bubble high. Doesn't want to get MD'd on low HP. And I actually like that CC chain by Capsizer, putting the Hodge in the stun. The Repentance onto Jaeger. But now the pressure is onto Yeti.
We got some sacrifice coming out from Bayo as well. Just trying to keep Reddy alive here. Reddy taking a lot of damage. Trying to kite behind the pillar, not eating it down from Homer J. Capsize's taking a lot of damage at the same time here when he goes behind the pillar. And this is what we were talking about earlier. When he goes behind, it's cautious against his Thundercleave.
Yeah, that was the full hex onto his Discipline Priest. Capsizer able to survive on his own. Now Bayo doesn't have bubble, so I mean, now the stun.
One ring swap is going to be So much damage
There it
here.
is.
Oh, and Bale just gets absolutely demolished through his trinket. I mean, whew, that was the readiness, the rapid fire. Homer J popped everything. They really had a plan, I feel like, on this map, and it was to make this game as quick as possible.
It felt like they did the same thing in the first series as well. They didn't go on the Paladin the first game, but the second game when they went Paladin and they got the kill the same way. They got the bubble in the opener. They wait for the wings and then they pop wings on the Paladin without bubble and they score the kill.
Absolutely, it feels like it's hard to say if Bayo reacted well or not because the burst is so crazy that I mean he did bubble on pretty high HP, but that doesn't mean much, right? Because in 1 second you can go from maybe 50 to 20% and potentially die, even get you bubble indeed, and you can die through. So he actually decided to play it safe there on cities, pop the bubble. But Homer J and Capsizer, you can tell they have great synergy together. Like they know how to get kills.
Yeah.
They know how to play well defensively, but they also know how to get that win condition, and that is something very important in a tournament display. Being able to especially on different maps. You were saying it, they seem to have different strategy. I'm not sure if it's based on the map or maybe they're trying to swap up the strategies to kind of surprise their opponents and really kind of throw them off. And anyway, but yeah, they've shown great potential so far and have been looking quite good. And shameful display, unfortunately. Despite winning the first series of the day today, gonna be losing their second one, and yeah, I mean we'll see more of them, of course. See more of the shameful display boys, but I guess we'll be moving into to our next series for now,
which is Damage with Me, and that's Brunty, Shinta, Black Betty, and Ripley. And we're going to be seeing them queue up against Wheezy, which is going to be Neressa's team again, featuring Bruce, Lurker, and Mercedesa. So this is certainly going to be an interesting matchup. Two very well known. And this could go either way, to be honest with you.
It's gonna be interesting to see if the Wheezy team is gonna play with their ATC composition or the Hunter Warlock composition, and see what if Damage with Me plays either LSP or if they play Thundercleave.
Okay, so yeah, I think it might come to a potential blind pick lock, whoever gets the right pick. Something important to note is that both of these teams, so Damage with Me is the #1 seeded team, which means they're the highest rank when they qualified, and Wheezy the 2nd seed team. So I feel like this is kind of like a game that you might see in the semis or potentially in the finals. Two big teams clashing against each other early in the tournaments. That's gonna be an exciting game, and as you guys said, we'll see what they decide to play, but should be a definitely very intense and very important game for these teams, for these players.
Yeah, I would like to actually see the Thundercleavers, the ATC, just the warriors going against each other, the prot versus the arms, and just battling for who is the better warrior.
Yep, that'll be interesting for sure. And of course, these teams are gonna discuss the last minute strategy, the last minute pep talk, maybe trying to boost their morale, trying to boost their, just get hyped up for the games. And we should be in very shortly. Boom, boom. All right. Matchup should be coming up in a few seconds on your screen.
First map, once again, the Grand Arena.
Absolutely. And Mercy wants to redeem himself after their first loss of the tournament earlier today. But hey, they're not going against anybody. Like this is two top teams going against each other. So this will be I feel like a high caliber game, sorry. And both these teams, we're gonna see the matchup now on your screen. Shinta playing the warrior Black Betty on that Ellie on the Holy Pally versus the HLP, the first matchup they actually played. The first comp they played earlier today.
And Mercedesa just dropping down to 55% right away. It's really scary when Shinta finally connects onto Mersa. It's going to be a lot of damage output. And Black Betty just standing in the middle and just recasting and just pumping out as much damage as possible.
Black Betty is trying to get some distance right now. Mercy is the main target though, who actually gets chunked by that chain lightning. Big amount of damage. Bruce gonna have to do some work here to top his team. Actually faked the winch here, gets full hex though. Nice job by Black Betty. Has to trinket out of that. The Mercy gets hodged. Has no trinket, gets bopped though. Nice play here by Bruce. That was really important for him to save his Warlock.
And you can see previously, Shinta's Blaze Storm was actually hitting both Pets and Hunter and Warlock. It's just amazing damage output from that. But a great job here from Bruce Pala, just topping both Pets and his teammates up.
Yeah, absolutely. Bruce Pala has to work actually a lot of damage to Black Betty. The bot's gonna have to be forced onto his side. Brunheady's trying to feel that Pets so he can get some cast off. Trying to feed that Felhunter. Actually has to bubble anyways. I actually really like that swap on the bop to Brunheady. They actually forced the bubble in that exchange. But Mercy now is the main target of choice. Ports back behind the pillar. Connects back a nice root. Yeah, Shinta's actually going to trigger that root to finish Mercy. Ooh, that was a nice move.
That's some great gameplay there. I don't know if everybody caught that, but Shinta actually doing the focus charge on Bruce Pala, stopping the cast and going right next to Mercy and connecting right away and shrinking the root just to connect at all times and just finishing him off.
Yeah, so Shinta's damage being absolutely insane. Looking at scoreboard once again, it's just so dominant.
And man, as soon as that Warlock gets targeted, he's just a target dummy. Like if Port is not ready, the damage is just crazy. But yep. Anyways, the team of Damage with Me once again showing their leads. They won their first series of the game 2-0. In a pretty dominant way. And here again, I feel like they seem very dominant. They seem very comfortable in their classes. The HAP seems like it seems more of like maybe a late game matchup. Maybe you guys can comment on that. It feels like they really kind of need to extend the game to really like just make the game last a bit longer to kind of have a chance to win it. And on the contrary, it feels like Damage Was Me. They kind of like these fast-paced matchups. They like the fast games, and they definitely have the kill potential early on the games. Would you say that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Shinta's got a very aggressive playstyle, so they're going to be on the back foot from the start. I mean, if they can make it long enough to survive, then it's possible, but they've just got to try and reduce as much damage from Shinta.
And it feels like they need a longer game as well to get Mercedes' dots to actually make an impact on the game and getting that spread pressure up and letting Neressa hit different targets at different times and getting that pressure up.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to see if there's going to be any matchup changes. It's going to be any, of course, it's going to be on Runes of Lordaeron. So, I mean, honestly, I feel like Mercy and team of Wheezy, they have to find a way to kind of get these games a bit longer. It just feels like it's just so hard it's just so hard for them to kind of find the pressure that they need. Neressa now the main target, gets a scatter onto Black Betty.
Gets Hodge instantly and getting dispelled though right away. Black Betty taking a lot of damage here. Now Shinta's connected to Mercedesa, and Mercedesa dropping down to 50%, has to port right away.
Ooh, the Blaze
because of the Blaze Storm coming out from Shinta.
Oh, he's still connecting though. Huge amount of damage. The Bruce Pally is gonna have to react with some big CDs in a second. Seems to be fine for now. Popping the wings. Bruce Pally popping the wings. Top Mercy off.
The heroism comes out from the Thundercleave as well. It's gonna be a scary time for this HLP.
Shinta gets stunned. Trinkets actually decides to go into Bruce Pally here. Popping a lot of damage onto him. He's gonna have to try and fake the kick. Actually, he faked him, but he actually gets completely destroyed, and Bruce Pally was not ready. Managed to fake the pummel. And gets completely destroyed despite the scatter coming fortunately a bit late by Neressa onto Shinta. And ooh, that Thundercleave is just on fire. They have a plan in mind too. They know how to win.
That just shows like the caliber of the players and why they were rank 1 in the qualifications as well. Like it just shows what a team they are and the synergy between the players.
Well, they're definitely looking to win this one. So much pressure once again. Shinta on top of a scoreboard doing everybody's damage combined.
Yep, definitely seems like he has the best DPS rotations that we've seen so far. And yeah, just good plays by him throughout the game as well. And Wow, well, we were talking about, I mean, we maybe expected the series to be a bit, evenly matched up, considering it's, first seeded versus second seeded team. But honestly, Damage with Mean just seem to be very, very confident in this tournament. Uh, Definitely tell that they've practiced a lot, they're confident, and it showed. So yeah, anyways, that'll be a victory, another victory under the belt for Damage with Me. We'll see more of Wheezy, of course, and the crew. We'll see more of them during the tournaments, and just gonna be moving on to the next matchup, guys.
Which is, of course, going to be Nose Merchants versus Shameful Display. So we've got, once again, the WLP versus a Thundercleave.
Yeah, and both these teams are 1-1 in win-loss in their previous series as well. So both these teams are looking to get one step ahead of each other here in this series.
They've definitely had it rough today.
Yes, we got a Nose Merchants who is Sumix, Sumic Machine, and Sumi. And they're facing Shameful Display. That is Jagger, Bayo, and Retinol on the Thundercleave. And the game should be coming up right now. It's going to be on Nagrand as the first game.
Nagrand Arena, map of choice, and hey, another. Those merchants, I think they're quite experienced now in that matchup. I think they fought that matchup so many times. I'm sure they know what to do at this point. So yeah, here we go once again.
WLP for Priest, staying loyal to the comp. Once again versus Thundercleave.
Shameful Display sticking to their OG comp. Thundercleave.
Machine just taking a lot of damage here. Ready just sitting on his back and just hitting down to 30% right away, right off the bat. You can see Shield Block coming out and Shield Slam as well. Trying to stop the incoming damage from the opponent team.
Absolutely.
He's still not going to get topped off. He's going to have to pop Hellstone. Still sitting in defensive stance, sword and board. Not getting the damage he wants to get put out.
Intervenes back. Yeah, my Machine's he's used to it now. He's been getting tunneled for the last 3 series. So I'm sure he's kind of ready for that. Gets
He's just got to
though.
be so careful when he gets into that open map.
Sumik gets put in a full hex here. He's going to have to sit it. Does not have a trinket up. Machine popping Blaze-Storm onto Jagger though. A lot of damage on both of the opponents here. Both Jagger and Reti taking a lot of damage, but Bayo just doing an amazing job getting his team topped off. Got a disarm onto Reti as well.
Yeah, Sumi actually did a good job. Actually purged the heroism off both Jaeger and Reti. That definitely alleviated some of the pressure. Reti in trouble though. Ooh, Machine putting a lot of work onto Reti. Reti's now in the defensive situation on 20%. Might have to actually pop that shield wall. Actually, no, decides to intervene back. Shui Farm charges right back out. One MD here from Sumi. Good. I'm not sure if he was trying to MD something. Anyways, Reti playing safe as well. I like that these warriors know how to recognize when to go defensive, when to go offensive. Really shows.
It's such a fast-paced game. Like these overpowers Mortal Strike can hit so hard. And Jagger taking a lot of damage as well. Both Reti and Jagger down to 20-30% each. Got the bop onto Jagger there to make him survive. We can see Sumi as well. Just spam offensive dispelling and like doing a lot of helpful things for his team.
Yeah, Summing is actually doing work. He's really doing as much pressure as he can. Jaeger has been doing an okay job trying to win shear as much damage as possible, trying to ground, trying to hex Sumik, just really trying to alleviate that pressure. Machine's now the main target again. He does have the shield wall available if that will be needed. Playing safe. He doesn't have a trinket though, so he has to be careful to not get stunned and die. But actually, Bao had to use the exchange, his bubble in that exchange to keep his teammate alive. Machine doing okay, intervenes back. Playing safe as always. Divine Plea now popped by Bayo. He might have to cancel it though, because Reti's in so much trouble. Ooh. Reti's trying to kite. He's trying to take as less damage as possible. Intervenes back. Should be fine for now. Actually charges right back out. Wants to go offensive. Rarely Low does not care. He wants to go offensive here. Bayo pops the wings though. Should be able to keep him off for a little bit.
Reti actually forced to do the shield wall as well from Reti. But both Reti and Jagger just taking a lot of damage. Like Sumik has been getting out a lot of spread pressure with his dots here.
There's the Blaze-Storm by Reti. Trying to get that pressure onto Sumik.
Yeah, Machine actually Blaze-Storming as well. onto Jagger.
Bayo actually used up both of his sacks at the same time, trying to really top his team. Jaeger's taking so much damage. Ooh, dropped to 30%. He's trying to get the Hex off. He's trying to fake the CS. Didn't actually quite get it.
We've got the
Sumi now
PS
out
thing
of
from
mana though.
Sumi.
Sumi's not looking very good on mana. Doesn't know the Shadow Fiend. He might have a Hymn of Hope available. Might try and get beyond the pillar and try and do that soon. But he's getting tunneled though, so he can't really cast anymore. Actually gets charged on and Thunderstorm in the map. I like that synergy. Power Infuse is gonna be used. Gets charged up once again. Sumi really doesn't have much left in the tank. 5%. Ooh, he's trying to kite as much as he can. Good kiting by Sumi. That was critical, but unfortunately not enough. Ready low, able to connect with Jaeger and able to finish Sumi down, who unfortunately was out of mana. And oof. This composition is causing a lot of trouble for Nose Merchants. Oof, they've been struggling quite a bit with that matchup.
Just shows as well like how good the Thundercleave composition is. And like this, if you have good synergy, you can make a lot of good stuff happen.
That comp is scary. I can tell. I can tell that comp is very scary.
I definitely feel like it's time to see the WOP bring up a Paladin instead. I feel like Sacred Cleansing and Freedom for Machine is going to be absolutely game. Defensive dispels from a Priest are great, but they're just falling behind too much versus Thundercleave. It's just costing the game.
Feels like if they don't get enough pressure in the beginning, then the Priest isn't doing as much in the late game as the Pala would do.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, did you get what could Nose Merchants do? Like technically, is there anything that they could change up in their play style and the way, maybe, I don't know, is there something you think they can do? I feel like they have a lot of pressure. It's kind of hard to finish the game. If Shameful Display, if that Thundercleave kind of plays well defensively, I feel like it's kind of hard for them to finish the game. Eventually they get kind of outlasted in the game. So do you guys think there's anything they could maybe change up to finish that game faster?
As I said, I feel like they should probably try swapping out for the Paladin, but it's a little bit too late now. They're sticking with the Priest. The Sacred Cleansing and Freedom, the Machine, and for the whole team in general would just be so much more beneficial.
I actually thought the Machine was playing a bit differently from the previous series when he's faced the Thundercleave and doing a lot of good intervenes back just to help his healer with the pressure.
Yeah.
And I like to see that he adapted his playstyle against these teams from the previous ones.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these intervenes back are critical, and Reddy was doing the same thing too. Like, he knew if he was in trouble, he wasn't gonna take the chance. He was straight going back out, going back in, playing really bouncy back and forth. Ready now. Looks like he wants to go on Sumi for now in the opener. Might be a bit scary. Charges right back to Summit.
Yeah, Machine actually just sitting on Ready this time, right off the bat. Ready taking a lot of damage, but Machine now taking some revenge damage here as well.
Reddy's actually playing so aggressive. He's really charging back out onto Sumi, though he's like 20%. You can tell he's really confident on his class.
Got the Blaze Storm out from Machine, but he gets disarmed right away by Reddy. But look at Jagger, he's just gonna fall right away.
And Jagger just got smoked. Woo! I'm not sure what happened to Jagger. We saw like the disarm onto Machine, and Jaeger just got destroyed.
Yeah, you saw Sumi just popping like 5 offensive dispels in a row before Machine connected, and Sumi getting some dots up and some damage onto him before. And then when Machine finally connects after the disarm, he just flops. I don't think they anticipated the damage that was going to come into Jagger. And that's one thing that's so scary with this meta, the damage output. If you're not being aware of every situation, it's going to be a game changer.
Absolutely. And the Nose Merchants feeling a bit better now, tying the score 1-1.
Yeah, I should imagine it feels like a really good victory for them.
And of course, the Shameful Display. Bit of a throw of a game. Must not, probably doesn't feel that great. Hopefully they can bounce back from that loss and refocus themselves, trying to see what went wrong and trying to fix that. In the next game, of course, they'll be picking the map. Might give them a slight edge. But yeah, that Thundercleave seems to be like dominating so far, and I feel like the team PsyQ is the one that's probably impressed us the most so far. They've really been the one that's been probably performing the best out of that comp. But every time we see that comp, no matter who it is, it seems like it can really. It's not only it's super tanky, it can really kind of last long in the games, but it can also have that. It really has a kill potential at any point during the game. So
Yeah, the elemental shaman is bringing a lot to the table with the help of on healing and the burst damage, the offensive dispels. It's just a great class for that composition, just doing a lot of things and having a big role in that composition.
absolutely, and the teams are still discussing what potential map, potential strat that they want to change up. For the ones that are watching us now or joining us now, guys, this is the Warmane Invitational, day 1. We actually played 8 series so far. The game's been pumping very, very fast. They've been actually quite enjoyable to watch. It's been super, super fast paced. Of course, if you guys need any information, you want to see the bracket of the players, you can see that in the description right below. And yeah, we'll be here today and tomorrow to share you guys with some of the best Warmane players. And yeah.
What map do you think we're going to see then?
I think we're gonna see Dalaran once
The
again.
Axis.
Or
The Z-axis map.
yeah, exactly. Thundercleaves usually pick the knock maps after they lost the game, like we've seen in the previous series. It's a trend that's been following throughout the entire tournament this far.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you do what you can to win, and
I'm actually surprised though by Nose Merchants, like how they swapped. It's not the first time they did like the last game when they just got a lot of pressure and got a fast kill. And I'm really surprised with the damage output and the synergy between the team with the offensive priest. I like their offensive gameplay.
yeah,
So,
no,
Yeah.
for sure. It's been quite exciting, and as we were saying, we're gonna go back in the next game. So both these teams are tied up 1-1, best out of 3, of course. So whoever takes it wins the series. It's crazy. I feel like the games can really go back and forth. And it really comes down to small. It really comes down to small plays, whether it's defensively or offensively. It really doesn't come too much, and really every decision that you make matters so much. Like we saw people getting really just almost getting global, really dying in 2 to 3 seconds without, if you don't react properly, as you were saying, Dave. If you don't make the right choice offensively, you might not be able to win a series. So it's I like that it's been it's been pretty fair in that sense, that the team that usually is the most stable, the most consistent, managed to get the win. But anyways, here we go, guys. Back again. Same matchup for both teams. Both teams feeling comfortable in that matchup. Sumi popping that PI right away. Gets hodged up, actually. Decides to not trigger it for now.
Machine actually popping Recklessness right away, just going for Ready right away, just showing that he wants to be on top of this warrior.
Yeah, actually Sumi popping the PS here on the CD of Ready. Really doesn't want to drop in any lower. He's actually pretty stable so far, and it's Ready who's actually taking the heat of the damage. Sumi's just doing so much work right now.
And both Ready and Jagger dropping down to 40%, and Sumi just getting that pressure. He gets set into a full Hex though. He's gonna have to set it because he does not have a Trinket. But look at the Thundercleave, all 3 taking damage. And Sumi just popping out defensive dispels all the time. He's got his team topped off.
Yep. Bao has been pumping his Slasher Lights as much as he can. And Jaeger, yeah, that's a critical Hex onto Summit, really. If he doesn't stop the Affliction, locks pressure, it seems really hard for his team to recover. But as soon as he gets the Hex, his team can recover. And yeah, just manages to kind of alleviate the pressure. The sack now used onto Ready. Seems to be the main target of choice. Trying to connect onto Stomach. Stomach does have the port available. Ready taking so much damage. Pops the shield wall on 8% health. Ooh, that was super important for him there to use that cooldown. Ready seems to be a bit unsure on who to go. He started the game going onto Sumi. Now it seems like he wants to go back onto Stomach. And so much damage going to him. He's actually doing some nice kiting. I like that nice thunderstorm here by Jaeger. That was very important. Actually decides to go straight back onto Sumi, who the bubble and Bob's gonna have to be used. And really, this team's under so much pressure this game.
Yeah, a lot of damage on the Sumi though. He does not have the pain suppression. The Blaze Storm is on. They need to get a disarm there. And he lands on Ready.
Desperate Prayer. He has to fake the cast. Manages to fake. Actually doesn't get kicked. He gets kicked. But Reddy dies at the same time. It's actually gonna be a 2v2 situation. Unfortunately for the team of Nose Merchant, they don't have a healer, so
It's gonna be a tough one.
Well, this is a few blasts from the past, isn't it?
Machine unfortunately doesn't have any self-healing
look at
outside
this.
of that.
He got the Blaze from here onto Jagger. This might be a kill potential here.
Ooh, big heal by Bayo. Fortunately for him, he had the wings available, so he was able to top Jaeger, but that was close, as you said.
Yeah, Jagger was actually
is just
helping out
taking the
healing as
heat
well.
right now. I feel like the next counter spell, the next fear, any form of CC chain onto Bayo actually might be the kill onto Jaeger, and Machine is actually just crushing him. I thought the Ellie was just able to survive, but Machine is actually just completely destroying him. Jaeger is not able to go offensive. We see the root now. He needs to try and get some distance. Tries to get the Hex.
Sumik trinkets the Hex right away.
I think Jaeger's in trouble now. He knocked him, but he didn't knock him down in the bottom. I think Jaeger's immediately gonna go down. Pop the Tonko, the Stormclaw Totem, alleviate some of the pressure. Bale's doing his best, but he's almost out of mana at this point, and I actually didn't think double DPS would win this, but it seems like Machine actually has enough self-healing to himself to actually survive this.
Yeah, you can see that actually the positioning from Bayo is really, really good. He's been losing Sumik at all times, just trying to not get feared. But Jagger actually just gonna fall there. Jagger just couldn't get the pressure.
To finish the deal by Sumik, and Machine is just a machine. He's just unkillable. He doesn't need a healer. And the Nose Merchant must be feeling good after that 2v2 to manage to win a cross kill. First cross kill we see out of the tournament, but the Nose Merchant will remain victorious against Shameful Display.
Wow, that was unexpected, wasn't it?
On their map as well, absolutely.
It just felt like Jagger couldn't get any pressure out. When he got distance, he was helping and healing himself, so he never got any pressure onto either Machine or Sumik. And when Machine finally connected, he just did too much damage, so Jagger never got an opportunity to start casting and getting some damage output in that 2 versus 2 situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to pull it through. And yep, another point on the board for the Noise Boys. And I guess we'll be looking at our next matchup.
This is one that everybody's going to love, and one that everybody's definitely been talking about. This is Shinta's Damage With Me team versus Homojay's PHP/Jungle.
Ooh.
So this is going to be an intense game for sure. It's been extremely talked about and anticipated, and the first match is up already. So let's get into it.
These teams know what's up. Like these teams, they just want to go at it, huh? They just want to fight. All right.
Yeah, we got Damage With Me that has a LSP and a Thundercleave composition versus iWings I Don't Care that has a PHP or a jungle composition. So they both have 2 different comps they can play into the other team with. It's going to be interesting to see what they pick for the blind picks.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, so far, like I feel most team that pick the comp in the blind pick is actually the comp they stick with. I mean, I'm pretty sure that comes from the fact also that most team actually don't, multi-class, or they kind of have one comp in mind that they kind of stick with, whatever comp they feel the most comfortable with. But yeah, I guess we can expect probably the PHP once again from Homojay. That's kind of been their bread and butter. That's what's given them the most success so far.
I don't know. I wouldn't love to judge this one.
Yes, we got the PHP for Homojay's team, and we got the LSP from the other team with Brunity, Black Betty, and Ripley.
Awesome. And this piece here again, iPet popping the PI, popping the Dispel, wants to play very aggressive.
He dispels 2 UAs in a row, just dripping down to 40%.
Rapid fire now, pop by Homojay. Big CDs onto Ripley. He really needs to try and cut a bit some of that damage. Pops the Horizon though, that should help both his Paladin and his offensive pressure to top him back off. Capsize actually gets coiled. He's trying to connect. Actually has to bubble, unfortunately. Ooh, that is so unfortunate. So early in the game, the red Paladin has to use that big defensive CDs. It was the Heroism though, so it was quite a major CD used by that team. The Hodge now onto iPet.
He instantly dispelled by Capsizer.
Great.
Yeah, Desperate Prayer coming out from the priest as well there right away.
Yeah, he's trying to be mana efficient, really kind of throwing CDs. I feel like he really wants to spam the spell as much as he can. Trying to keep his team aggressive.
Yeah, it feels like this PHP is gonna have to get some pressure now and just like, but that's the thing with the PHP, they can just turn it around so fast with the wings combo there with the Homer J.
Both teams very much respecting each other's damage, playing very, very cautiously. They know.
And Caps doesn't knows it. Like as soon as he's out there, he's exposing himself to death, especially even on a bubble. This Priest actually does have the pains up ready if needed, so should be able to keep him for a bit. Now Homer J is actually the one in trouble. Gets chunked down insanely hard, feigned death, but he actually died in that exchange. And ooh, Black Betty and Ripley. Okay, Caps, you don't want to come. We're gonna swap to your Hunter, and that's exactly what they did. Completely bursted it down. A nice swap here by Ripley and Black Betty. And whew.
Yeah, Black Betty was actually standing behind the pillar and just getting lightning bolts off, like it was just free casting those lightning bolts and getting so much damage out. And that's the scary thing with elemental shamans. Like when they get a few cast out, it's gonna be so much damage.
Capsizer. Poor Caps. I feel bad for Capsizer. He goes in, he forces the bubble in the first 20 seconds of the game. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna play safe, be on the pillar. And then Homer J decides to play a bit more offensive, and he's the one getting punished. I feel like it must be really scary being in a melee position, or like a red or a hunter against this. Just every decision you make must be very, very critical, because as soon as you expose yourself, as you said, to the double caster pressure, you can just flop. You can just take so much damage and die. So they're gonna have to be a bit more careful. Of course, he did have the deterrents ready, so I just got surprised, honestly, and we've seen that a lot. Can't really blame the players. We've seen that a lot today. Just players getting surprised by the burst damage, and
yeah, it's like you said, it's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last one in this current meta.
Absolutely.
It's just a demonstration of the damage potential of LSP.
Yeah, exactly. The second map is actually going to be on a Grand as well, and they're just sticking to this map choice. We're going to see if they're swapping the compositions to bringing in Shix here, or if they're going to stay true to the PHP. Okay, it should be opening real soon.
For the guys joining us, score is 1-0 here for the LSP. Homer J is gonna have to find a solution. They're gonna have to find a solution here if they want a chance to win that series again. Ripley just pushing up.
We have seen this PHP come up with different tactics though, and it's shocking, like against the Holy Paladins before. So you never know what to expect from this PHP. Look at Black Betty actually dropping down to 40% right away. Ripley's as well taking some damage, just trying to spam some fears out, getting control of the situation. But the PHP just falling back really good there, not taking any damage or defensive cooldowns, just getting some stuff out and then falling back.
Yeah, they forced a big sack. They're like, okay, we're probably not gonna get more straight back to the pillar. We saw what happened last game as soon as either Homer or Capler decided to push out. So we see the Hex now into Capsize. It's not really gonna do too much. Black Betty can't really connect on anything right now. Trying to get some damage on the pets.
Brunty really keeping on top of these dispels of the Serpent Stings, mitigating Homer J's pressure completely.
Absolutely. Now we see the Howl. Nice Howl on both iPad and Casa. Yeah, Casa actually decides to stun up. I'm not sure what the stun was on. Actually, the second stack is going to be used by Brunheady. Should be able to top his teammate off. Ooh, we see iPad here dispelling that UA. Gonna take a bit of damage, but should be fine. Casa is scary. He's scared. He knows. He knows he has to be very, very patient in this matchup, I feel like. Scatter once again onto Ripley. Good job by Homer J, trying to reduce some of that pressure.
Actually, Capsize is doing a real good job just holding his bubble for as long as he can. Not being in any place that he's going to regret and have to pop it. Taking a lot of damage now, they're down 30%. But going back again, just playing it safe. Trying to get topped off, but still under a lot of pressure.
There's a Bloodlust. Instantly forces the bubble.
Homer J taking a lot of damage.
Actually, pre-deterred, I think right before the coil. That was critical, man. This LSP pressure is just insane. The iPad's gonna have to do a lot of work here if he wants to top his team. But they have to find some offensive pressure as well. Like they're so defensive that the Black Betty and Ripley are just playing on top of him. And now the pressure's gonna be on the iPad. They're really just killing everything. He's spamming the spell, trying to play offensive, but it seems really hard for him to get any sort of form of pressure. Divine Hand now actually gonna be popped. I actually think he got interrupted on that. They actually not, yeah, he actually did get CS. I pass in the middle of the screen now. He's trying to keep them up. Readiness gonna be used by Homer J. He has a second deter ready if needed.
Yeah, we got the PS there as well from iPad.
Oh, and
iPad's
iPad just gets destroyed. I think he just dispelled a UA. No way. He just dispelled another UA and got completely demolished. And oof, man, that pressure is just insane.
Yeah, you gotta be real careful about when dispelling, especially when you're under pressure like that. If you're dispelling at the wrong time and you're taking one of those UA dispels, it's gonna be devastating for you.
Absolutely. And iWings, who have been quite dominant. I mean, they won their first series of the tournament. This is their first loss. Of course, not against any team. This is the number one seeded team. Damages Me have been completely just dominating. Honestly, every team they won. They haven't lost a single series, haven't lost a single game, and they just seem to be on fire this tournament. And unfortunately, homogeneous squad can't find a solution. I mean, even talking outside the defensive point of view, I feel like even offensively, it seems so hard for them to do much. It feels so hard for them to like get the CC to get any sort of offensive pressure. It seems Capsulate can push out. He has a hard time even getting the Hodge.
Yeah, it felt like they never got an opportunity to go aggressive. They were always on the back of it and just trying to recover at all times. As soon as they pushed out, they just got thrown back behind the pillar.
Absolutely, and Homer J, he has to put like every scatter. I feel like on the DPS because if he doesn't, his team just dies.
Yeah.
So if he decides to use a scatter on any other target it just seems like they have to play so defensive, but unfortunately can't create offensive pressure, and that just allows Damages Me to kind of just roll over them. But yeah, anyways, Damages Me showing their dominance once again, leading. That is the third series that they've won 2-0. So they must be feeling quite pumped, feeling quite good at this point. But anyways, guys, we're gonna move out on the next matchup right away.
It's gonna be Old Division versus Wheezy, and unfortunately for both teams, both have lost both their previous series here. So it's gonna be a game of trying to stick on to the tournament right here. We got Old Division playing that TSG, and we got Wheezy playing that ATC and Hunter Lock Pala.
Absolutely, and Old Division unfortunately haven't been able to take a game today. I feel like that could do them some good if they could at least take one game. It definitely feels good for the confidence. Even if you don't win the series, actually get a point on the board, or actually manage to get some form of relief by killing a team. So we'll see what they'll be able to do, but they're not against anybody. This is a big team too in front of them. Nerissa.
And we see the Prot Warrior.
Yeah, Lurker's actually coming out for the first time in this tournament. And look at that shockwave coming out right off the bat.
Pegasus is getting absolutely demolished. Nope has to react.
Wow.
He doesn't.
And that is the shortest game of the day, right there.
And that's what I've been wanting to see.
We just beat the mark. That was a Prot Paladin, guys. Prot Warrior completely demolishing Pegasus. Nob wasn't ready. Like I feel like Nob wasn't ready. He just himself probably didn't expect that damage. He just was completely surprised and completely demolished that Death Knight. Poor little Pegasus is gonna have to. Oof. Yep.
Yeah, that damage was just unbelievable, and they just came in with a big double shockwave there on both Warrior and Pegasus, and Pegasus just couldn't get topped. He just died right away. That just proves like how incredible the ATC damage is, and it's fun to see that they're actually trying something new. They haven't played ATC in this tournament so far, and this is the first game for them playing ATC.
It's very well played by Lurker as well. The silence out the stun as well on the DK, so he couldn't use anything.
It's going to be fun to see here, like which map Old Division is going to pick. Because Old Division only has one composition to play, and is the TSG. They have two different DKs, though, they can switch around with.
Yep, and Old Division with their good old TSG. Ooh, it just gets rougher and rougher for them. Like they just, I mean, honestly, they fought some pretty big team names. They first they fought off against Damage With Me. Now they're fighting against Wheezy. Like it's obviously not the best confidence boost to be put up against such high caliber teams early in the tournaments. But hey, if they want to,
respect them for staying loyal and true to their comp, though. At least they're giving it their all.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
they're staying with the TSG no matter what.
TSG for life. That's their motto.
Yeah.
All right. I'm assuming we're going to see the same matchup, of course, for the team of Wheezy. They're going to be sticking to that ATC.
Yeah, but this time Nov is going to be prepared for the damage output, so he's probably going to play a lot differently and use some bigger cooldowns in the beginning and just try to mitigate the damage from the ATC and make something happen in favor of the TSG.
I should imagine this time we'll see some more careful gameplay with an extra massive damage from Prop Warrior at the start.
Yeah, just a thing like dodging that double shockwave in the beginning and not having both DPS, because the Warrior couldn't help his DK at all and peeling anything. Like, he was just, both were sitting there.
Very, very hard for a double melee to avoid that.
Yeah. Just playing around the pillar a little bit.
And here we go again. This ATC doesn't have time. They're charging it instantly. They're going straight back onto Pekkas. Pops the Icebound now at 100% HP. He knows what's up. Not taking the risk. Nafi gets stunned though. They actually swap into him and it was a stun. I like that choice. Nafi's actually going to have to trinket to get silent shot. Has to bubble, and that swap was insane by lurking the rest. I really like that aggressiveness early in the game.
Yeah, both teams actually swapped to the opponent's holy pile then. We got the bubble onto Nof and Bop, and big sacrifice here from Nof actually. Peck is just dipping down 30% instantly. Bruce still holding on to his big cooldowns here. So they're ahead on the cooldown game.
Pekkas trying to get some Chino's Ice. Now pops the AMS. Actually, he's really out of CD. I mean, he is Icebound AMS. He used his anti-magic zone. He really has nothing. Any CC channel and onto Nop's going to close the deal. Not even needed. Honestly, ooh, the Lichborn is going to be popping. Not going to do anything. I mean, Nop just popped his wings now. I feel like he should probably just pop his wings earlier. I'm not sure if it would have changed much, but probably could have stayed in the game a bit longer. Yeah. The old division, unfortunately, is... just not ready yet. Just not ready yet for that team matchup. But hey, I'm sure the time will come this tournament. I'm sure they'll get the chance to prove themselves too. But unfortunately, not today, not this series. Wheezy taking the win, and pretty dominant win once again. And yeah.
Yeah, Wheezy has had some troubles in the previous series as well, losing both their game or both their series, but taking a round from Shameful Display there. But they swapped up to the ATC now and took their first win of this tournament, and it's fun to see people trying out different comps and not playing the same comp every game.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely nice to see the diversity that we've seen today so far. I mean, there's a lot of people in chat that are upset about the lack of rogues and mages, but I'm sorry, guys. 204 meta.
Yeah, the good old RMP.
People play to win. That's how it's been in WoW. That's how it always will be. And yeah, sometimes you unfortunately don't necessarily get to see your favorite comp or maybe the comps that you play, but hey, it is part of the game. And and I'm excited to see. We're gonna see the Saiku. It's back once again. They've been pretty dominating so far.
Versus Gone in a Wink. This could be a potential TC versus TC, although they do have the option for Gone in the Wink to have the TSG as well. However, after seeing how TSG fares against TC, I don't feel like that would be the best.
Saiku in a dominating position. Won the first 2 series. Must be feeling pretty pumped up. Gone in a Wink for them have unfortunately lost the first 2 games. So this is really like, that's like the main difference in these two. One team won the first 2 series, the other didn't win a single series. So yeah, I hope for Gone in a Wink that they can finally get their groove back in and perhaps get their first tournament victory. That'd be good. That'd be good for them. And yeah, we'll see what they're about to play.
The game should start any second now. It's going to be on a Grand, as it's the first opening game of this series right here. It's going to be interesting to see if it's going to be a TSG and a Thundercleave, or if it's going to be a Thundercleave mirror against both teams. We got Inspire, Pacifical, Anuda, and Bulgarian Pro and Gone in a Wink. And we got in Psyche, we have Shizkara, Keanu, and Lorient. And the gates are going to open right now. And it's going to be a mirror.
There it is for TC versus TC.
Yes.
So So I feel the strategies a bit different. Like Lorian's trying to get onto Bulgarian, but the Warriors are like, oh, Oni, this damage is insane. The first 40 seconds are going to be high paced. Every CD is actually being popped. He's going to pop the stack, the bob, and the wings. You're really trying to alleviate that pressure. The heroism is still up, of course, for both teams. The Shamans are trying to purge that off. Actually got purged for both teams. Actually, almost. Actually got purged, yeah, of both the DPS. Good job by both Shamans, trying to alleviate that pressure. Bulgarian pros the targets. So a bit of a strategy choice. Bulgarian's the main target, but Onita himself, sorry, actually now they're going back on both Shamans. I feel like Onita was trying to get on the other warrior at the start of the game.
We got some ping pong played there from Onita to stop the Paladin from casting. And Bulgarian Pro taking a lot of damage here. Trying to get some purges off. We got the sacrifice on Pacifico. He gets Hodge. He has to trinket it right away. We got a disarm on Onita as well. Bulgarian down to 20% HP. The other, Keanu and Lorient, are fine. They're both at 70% plus. Bulgarian still taking damage.
I think that's the best strategy. I feel like Onita's tunneling Lorient, but that means Shizgar is just free. He can just do whatever he wants. Whilst Bulgarian's getting tunneled, he's getting kicked, he's getting pummeled. So it's not as easy for him to get damaged. I think it's going to pay off. 10% HP plus the Nehru ratio. Not going to be enough, unfortunately. And Bulgarian just gets absolutely demolished. I definitely feel like Shizgar and Lauren just had probably a better strategy here, just kind of going for the Shaman. Seems to actually get much more pressure like that, and it definitely shows on the scoreboard. Shizgar just obviously outdamaged them, outdamaged the other elemental by a lot, and essentially it comes to that sometimes. Just target choices can make a big difference in an arena game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, keeping the Shaman on the back foot, not letting him cast, keeping him locked down, it's just going to create counter pressure for the whole game.
That's a really fast matchup when it's Thundercleave versus Thundercleave. Just a lot of burst damage from both teams going back and forth, and you just gotta, the healers really has to anticipate the damage and output that can come through it. With both Shamans just purging the opposite team, and both Warriors just trying to hit anybody they can at the moment and getting the pressure out. And especially in this meta with the Shadowmourne, it's just the Warrior damage is incredibly high, especially when they're hitting into somebody without a Sacred Shield or a Powered Shield. The damage is incredible.
Absolutely, and sorry, it's gonna be Gone in a Wink. Actually, is gonna be taking Link. Gonna be taking that first game, and that was actually might be potentially their first win in the first series. Sorry, that they win. As we were saying earlier, Saikyu's been the dominating Thundercleave. Won their first two matchups, their first two series. Gone in the Wink here, proving that they got what it takes to be a top tier Thundercleave. So now we'll see. We'll see what map they pick. Not sure it will really matter, as it's a. I mean, if it happens to be a mirror again, I don't think the map will have that big of an impact. But it's more going to come down to strategy, and
it's gonna be interesting if they have a XY map like in Dalaran, for example, like how the game is gonna affect each other, because it's gonna be a lot of knocking down and up, so it's gonna be kind of chaotic for both teams in that sense.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like maybe the Shaman that makes the better use of Thunderstorm might get the edge. It's true. You can actually make some pretty good plays with Thunderstorm. So maybe the Shaman's a bit more patient, knows how to use Thunderstorm at the right time. Could make some critical plays. We've seen it a lot in the previous game. As soon as a Thunderstorm, boom, Thunderstorm, like a target in the middle of the map below, and that can create some big
shearing correctly as well. Yeah, massively important.
And like we saw on Dalaran before, like 2 of the knocks was downstairs and knocked healers downstairs and landed the kill. So our next match should start right now. And it's going to be on Nagran this game as well.
Nagran Arena. Here we go again. So interesting choice, actually. The team, both teams were like, okay, we're obviously going to play a mirror, so maybe we'll might as well just set it straight on Nagran. Don't want to deal with the extra axis onto Dalaran and Blaze Edge, so they're gonna stick with Nagran. The comfort pick. Gonna be going back to the first initial.
It's gonna be interesting to see if Gone in a Wink's gonna swap to the Thunder or the TSG as well, or if they're gonna stay true to the Thundercleave and playing the mirror.
Ooh, I feel like from what we've seen so far, it feels like the TSG kind of struggles against the Ellie.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mirror this one as well. You can see just both Shamans and both Warriors just standing on top of each other. And then fast play storm here from Lorient. It gets disarmed, but Bulgarian already so low.
Is he gonna get purged? Managed to get the purge off. The charge done from Lorient. He's really all over. The Bloodlust now is gonna be popped for one team. They really need to react with another Bloodlust. It feels like he's been a good job by Bulgarian. He's trying to purge that. He did actually get it off. He actually got it both on both targets once again. Good job by Bulgarian. He's gonna get the heroism off, sorry. But he's still in big trouble. Ooh, pops a grounding totem, really trying to get some distance, but not gonna be enough, I think. And Bulgarian just gets completely crushed this game. And wow, it almost feels like one-sided, honestly. It just feels like one team just simply more damage than the other. Is able to lock down that shaman much better and just get the W here.
Yeah, you can see Keanu just having his team topped off basically the entire time, and the other Thundercleave just sitting, and both Warrior and Shaman taking a lot of damage and sitting and not quite being fine at all, so they can't really go aggressive that hard, and just shows like the players in the teams make a big difference even if they're playing the same comp.
For sure. And correct me if I'm wrong, but is this 2-2-2? Wait, just gonna double check to make sure. But yeah, it is actually. Oh, sorry. Yes, it is Saiku.
2-0 to Saiku in that series right there. Saiku has actually been playing incredibly well throughout this entire tournament and won every single series they've gone to this far.
Yeah, so I think the first game I said I think I was wrong. I thought Gone in a Wink won, but it was actually Saiku. So yes, they're still on that winning spree. Third series won today, which two of them were actually 2-0s. Saiku definitely. I mean, you can clearly tell there's a big gap between these two Thundercleaves. Like, it's. I mean, it's almost not even close. Like the other team just really got just. It's they. I'm sure they don't even know what happened to them. It's just they went into the game and they expected to play a mirror, but it was just. You can tell that they're a bit behind strategy-wise, and unfortunately, that's not going to be enough for Gone in a Wink. But said earlier, we'll see more then, and Saiku continue their dominating spree, and yeah, I guess we'll be moving on to the next matchup,
which is going to be Wheezy versus O-Wings. O-Wings, I don't care. So we're going to see the ATC/Hunter Lock Paladin combo versus the Jungle/PHP.
It's going to be interesting here to see if Wheezy goes with the ATC that they won their last series with, or if they're going to go with the other composition that they've previously lost with. It's going to be interesting to see here if Lurk's going to be the playing or if it's going to be the Warlock.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a fun matchup to watch. I mean, the ATC has been paying off dividends, honestly. Like, it's been quite scary. I mean, especially if you're on a DK, I'm sure maybe if you're on a different targets, like it probably won't take as much damage. But
I think they have the record for the fastest game in the tournament as for now.
Hey, we get surprised every series. There's always a new record every series. So
yeah, that's very true.
It can be hard to beat that though. That was insanely fast.
Yeah.
All right. And both
once again, the Grand Arena
getting in the game.
Yeah, it feels like the maps has been dominated by Dalaran and the ground for the most part.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like teams just like their comfort pick. They just like what they're used to. They just like what they're most comfortable playing on. And two hunters battling against each other in this matchup.
Yeah, we got the PHP versus the HC and Nayresta instantly dropping down to 60%, taking a lot of damage. Homerjay gets disarmed right away. We got the sack onto Nayresta as well, just trying to mitigate some of that damage coming in.
Yeah, it seems like not too much pressure being off now.
Feels like they
onto Bruce. Does that actually swap to Bruce for a quick second? Actually get the bubble, they do. I like that swap onto Bruce.
Lurker swapping onto iPad as well. 30%.
They're going in the freeze. He actually gets popped. They don't have any purge mechanics, so he should be fine.
Well, look at Capsizer getting caught.
Capsizer in big trouble. Actually, and this pressure on his ADC is crazy. They're forcing cooldowns left and right. Bruce Pally on the end doesn't have his bubble, so he might be a potential choice.
feels like there are a lot of potential kill targets now in the future of this game. Like a lot of big defensive cooldowns has gone out from both of these teams, Bruce Pala, Bubbling, and Capsizer as well, and with the bop onto iPad.
Absolutely,
and now
but
ATC trying to connect onto iPad again. He's down to 40% HP, but Neyresta down to 30 as well, taking a lot of damage here.
the rest should be fine. He does the deterrence for anything. He pops a second rapid fire now. Big pressure, but Bruce Pally's the one in trouble. Pops a big heal. Not gonna be enough. Has to deal with the interrupt. But actually might see a cross kill here. On the other hand, he pops a Holy Nova. Not enough. Neyresta now pops the deterrence, but he gets a 10%. I think the Red Hunter should be able to take this. And yes, he finishes him off as the deterrence faded. And
is this Lurker's moment? No.
And you can see actually Homer J pre-deterrencing Lurker's charge there, so he didn't get caught in a stun. And having a frost trap right underneath him.
Oh yeah, that was a cute play. That was a nice play, and 1-0. But honestly, that game could have gone either way. That really shows how these teams are really toe to toe, and at any point in the game, it's any team can burst any other team down, and yeah, ultimately it came down to I'm actually not sure. Maybe just defensive rotations, just these really small things. I feel like, but yeah. Anyways, iWings gonna be taking the first game versus Wheezy.
Do you think we're gonna see another map, or are we gonna stay true to Nagrand? What are your inputs on that one?
Well, at this point, personally, I'd like to see another map.
I feels we want to change it up a bit. I think
Nagrand
both
is always a
teams.
favorite, though.
Yeah, I feel like both teams like Nagrand and the way it's built. I think it's good for both teams to play on a open map like that.
Yep, both staying team thinking through, especially Wheezy. Close game, unfortunately, not enough. It's always a bit unfortunate, when you're so close to winning, but can't get the win. So they might. It's probably gonna talk and see what they can do better in this next matchup.
Yeah, for anybody who's tuning in late, this is the Warmane Invitational Tournament 2, day 1. You can find information about the ladder and some of the teams down below in the links. And we are in the 4th round right now. We've seen some incredible games previously, and it's Wheezy versus iWings, I don't care right now. And iWings, I don't care has a 1-0 lead.
Absolutely. The Discipline Priest showing that he can have its place with the Sea of Paladins. All right, and it looks like this time this team is taking a bit more time. It's like Wheezy really wants to think this through.
Yeah, they're probably talking about a lot of if they're gonna swap composition or if they're gonna stay to what they previously played and what they can do differently, how to counter gear, if they're gonna counter gear perhaps, and stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough. So you were saying iWings also plays the jungle. We haven't seen them play actually. Is there a chance that might ever come out, or is Brett usually the main flavor in terms compared to like a Feral?
I don't know. Maybe if they're like ace in their jacket, just holding on to it as long as they can and just pulling out the secret comp when it's needed the most, perhaps, and not trying to give up any special tactics they have from training. But I think, and as well, I think Capsizer and Homer J have been playing for so long together and have this amazing synergy that we've been seeing throughout the games in the series. So I think they're really confident in playing that composition with the PHP as well.
Yeah, I think we'll only be seeing PHP today, that's for sure.
All right, the second match is gonna be start right now. Gonna wait for the gates to open. And again, we're gonna be playing on Nagrand Arena.
Absolutely. Now gonna hear it go again, but I feel like we're the composition swap this time. Weezy, do we have the option to swap out that comp? They're one of the few teams who can play multiple composition.
Yeah, they can swap somebody for Mercadessa. Gate should open right. The gates have opened right now. They're playing the Hunter Warlock composition right here.
Here we go.
The PHP staying true to the PHP.
Famous HLP. Once again.
You can just see this PHP just showing respect to their opponents. Just don't want to go in too deep and give them a head start.
Absolutely, and you can clearly tell. Oh, actually, they're going now. Capsizer, is that enough? Capsizer actually has his shield and board out right now. Not sure.
Yeah, and Neressa is taking a huge amount of damage here. We got the Divine Sacrifice coming up from Bruce Pala, just trying to mitigate the damage.
Wait, no, he's actually proc? Is that what's happening? Yeah, he is actually proc. He's not playing that red this time.
Yeah, that's interesting to see actually with the dark swap. You can see though in the entire team, Neressa, Mercedesa, and Bruce Pala taking damage. But Bruce Pala doing a good job just keeping his team topped off. Look at Capsizer though, dropping down to 26 HP and being forced to bubble. That's one of the big cooldowns. And Homer J down at 10% right away, 6%.
It's bopped. Unfortunately, a big. Well, actually gets.
It just
dies through, I guess.
Yeah, he gets damaged through it.
I mean, he wasn't prod the first game, was he? We did. I mean, I'm sure we did.
No, he wasn't. He's what the prod.
Okay, yeah. I
think it's one of.
Okay. I was just making sure.
All right. I guess it's gonna be.
Yeah, I was like, wait, where's he? Is he red? Why does he have a shield out like right now? Like, didn't make sense.
All right, so that game is just gonna get reviewed quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, one of the rules, of course, that you cannot change from DPS to tank, and I think Capsizer might not have been aware, so he did decide to switch to protection on that second game, which isn't allowed. So I'm not sure what will happen. We'll have the admins take a look at that and see what the decision is going to be. And yeah, and then is that actually a pop? Is that actually a popular? I know it used to kind of be. I know Protection Paladin actually used to be a viable thing. Myself, I used to play with a Prot Pally when I was playing during Brass, and but I mean, it seems like the red was doing work. So I'm interested to see why he decided to pick the Prot this time.
It was actually against the rules. You aren't allowed to change your specs like that. The match is going to be replayed now.
Yep. All right.
And he'll be forced to play red this time.
So yeah, that last game is not going to count on the board, and we got a rematch. It's probably going to be on our ground as well. I'm just waiting for everybody to join the game.
Hey, that's fine. We like reds too. We like to see reds. We like to see more of Capsizer as reds. So score, of course, still 1-0 for iWings. Gonna be looking to seal the deal in that second game.
Sorry about the delay, everybody. Just while the admins sort out the fact that the game needs to be replayed due to a breach of the rules.
Yeah, we're still waiting for some confirmation from the admins, and we're gonna see when we get the game up again. Yeah, we got a replay incoming here in a little bit. We're just talking to the teams, and we should be live again really soon. We are sorry about the delay, and just might be a good time to grab some popcorn to enjoy while watching this incredible arena gameplay from these incredible teams.
Oh yeah, I wish I had popcorn. I love some popcorn.
Popcorn would be amazing right now. Not gonna lie.
Sweet or salty though? What kind are you guys?
Sweet.
Hey, my man.
Feel like the chat's going to say salty.
Some sweet popcorns. You know, the cinema popcorn. That's what you need in your life.
I don't need that. I'm sweet enough.
Sweet chill. Do you predict the game to go any differently when they're swapping from prot to back to red? Do you think it's going to be a difference in the game and the outcome of it, or is it going to be the same outcome?
Personally, I'm not sure why they did it. I feel like they would have been as successful with red.
I'm sure they play that matchup, so maybe they probably think they have a slight higher advantage as protection compared to the Reds. But even as red, even as prot, it didn't feel like an easy matchup in any case. So hey, the teams and the players knows best. And I'm sure they've played these matchups hundreds of times. So I guess we'll tell in a few seconds when we get into the next game.
Yeah, it seems like the player have joined the arena right now, so the gate should be opening up in any second for a redo on that first game. Or the second game, I mean.
Only one team have joined the arena. Can see chat's not too happy about what's going on right now.
Hey. Oh, we had to remake it. Yeah, we had to remake it one more time. So we have to re-queue us up. But yeah, that's honestly that's part of the game. It's part of every tournament. Hey, it happens. Games get replayed. Games get delayed. It's part of the game, and yeah.
Yeah, we're sorry for the delay, boys. We should be coming back with the gameplay really soon.
Yeah, usually what happens when there's a replay, there's always one team that wants to replay and the other team that doesn't. That's usually what causes, in most cases, a bit of a delay. But yeah, it's up to the admins in any case, and I'm sure they'll know what to do best. We're just waiting on our fellow gladiators to go back in the arena. Battled out, it feels like. Okay, yeah. Waiting for the gladiators to get back in the game. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys have been enjoying the game so far. It's been quite fun, honestly. It's been quite good. And we've got a few more series. Of course, we'll be live tomorrow again for the rest of the team. For the rest of the series. And if you miss some matchups, you can always go back to the VOD and watch them. And yeah, as I said, we'll be back again live tomorrow. We'll have the semis up to the grand finals, and that should be quite exciting to see who's gonna make it out today. And yeah, share some of that $5,000 prize pool money.
It's gonna be really interesting to see. Like you said, it seems now that they have come to that they're gonna do it to a 1-1 game instead. That they're not gonna replay that game, as it wasn't the losing team was actually the ones that broke the rules. So it's gonna not get replayed, and it's gonna stay a win for the other team, for Lurk or for Nayrasa's team.
Yeah, I mean that seems honestly fair. Like they did lose that game anyways. It's not like even if they won, obviously that would have been a replay. But I mean they did lose, and it was unfortunately their mistakes. It's part of the game. So
Yeah, it feels like the right thing to do.
yeah, absolutely.
So you can find the brackets and the team and the info about the players who are playing in what team, and the links down below under the tournament links on the stream. And we're sorry about the delay here. We're just trying to sort some things out, and we hope you enjoy your stay. And hopefully we'll get some games going for you guys really soon.
Hey, I'm enjoying my stay with you guys, no matter what. Just want to say that.
Yeah, the same to you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Been a real fun time commentating this tournament, and it's been real fun just watching these high-level players fight it out upon the sands of the arena.
Sure, for sure.
Got like the world's most aggressive Twitch chat.
Seems like we might have an arena game incoming right now.
Yay! Arena match seems to be up, boys.
Yeah, we got all 6 players in the arena.
Time to get back in the game.
Get this tournament going. See how this series unfolds. Who's going to be the winner?
Right, so this time we're going to see the actual PHP, and it's the deciding game, of course.
Absolutely, guys. So yeah, for the ones joining us right now, it is 1-1 between these two teams. Going to the game, HLP versus the famous PHP. Both teams are kind of... Oops, sorry, my screen froze. Okay, yeah, both teams are, in terms of winnings and series, they're a bit about equal. I think they're like 1-1 and lost 2, or 1-2 and 1-1, so they're kind of equal. Anyway, we've seen Nerissa actually going in aggressively. We see the full stun on Bruce Pally, actually deciding not to trinket. It's gonna be popping beyond the pillar. I like that choice. He didn't panic here. The Hodge actually gets complete. Oh my god, he tried to pre-MD. So close, he gets it now at 2% health, and Bruce Pally is just dead. Bruce Pally, I thought it was a good choice by him not to trinket. He didn't take any damage during the stun, and as soon as the stun ended, the damage just unleashed, and he just got erased. And Bruce Pally is
Yeah, we actually got a 2-on-2 situation here though, because they landed the kill onto Capsizer right away because he popped wings to get the kill onto Bruce. We got Nerissa and Mercedes both taking a lot of damage. Mercedes down 90%, 2%, and surely will fall. And that's a win for Homer J's PHP.
I actually didn't catch that. I guess he actually didn't press his boublet. Hey, you got the kill. That's all that matters. And the wings, I-Wings, will be taking the second game. 2-1. Damn, that was. Ooh.
That was a real fast
one of the faster games as well.
And that was almost so close to landing that first MD as well on 2% HP on Bruce as well.
Yeah, he was really close, but like that damage is just scary. Like it's so easy to like panic in a situation like this. I mean, like I said, at first he didn't take any damage during the whole stun duration. As soon as stun duration faded, he like, I don't know. I don't think he could like even out heal that damage. Almost, he really had to like, I don't know.
Yeah, Capsizer actually saved his wings just like for the last second of the stun, and then that's when the damage came. So he just sat the stun and took some damage from that, and when it ended and he didn't trinket, then he just popped wings and just demolished him right away.
So let's talk about the next game, guys. This is going to be a pure TC versus TC.
This is going to be an interesting one.
Ooh, did you say pure ATC versus?
No, Thundercleave versus Thundercleave.
Oh, TC, sorry. Okay, TC versus TC. And it's gonna be Psyche. Psyche have been, so we talked a lot about them. They're 3-0. They won 3 series in a row today. They've been extremely dominant, honestly. Shameful display, been doing okay too. Managed to win a series and lose 2, but Psyche, yeah, they're really in a driver's seat those tournaments. Them and Damage with Me, that's the other team, have basically just been winning all their series. Damage with Me hasn't lost a single game. So both of these teams seem to be set right now to kind of like lead this tournaments. I don't know what you think, but they just seem on fire.
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way. I mean, Psyche is certainly shown to be the dominant TC at the moment.
They've just been proving every single game that they are to be reckoned with in this tournament, and that they want that top spot in the place in the grand final. And both these teams, both are stuck to the composition of Thundercleave. They don't have any 4th players. Both have 3 players in their team, so they're stuck with that Thundercleave. So we're gonna see a Thundercleave mirror here on to Nagrand Arena. So in Shameful Display, we got Jagger, Bayo, Tival, and Retinol. And in Psyche, we got Shizgara, Keanu, and Lorientex.
Absolutely. And yeah, you were saying a full-on mirror, and I mean, Saiku, they know what they're doing. They just actually the last series was a mirror, so I'm sure they've got a strategy in the bag. Jaeger seems to be the main target right now. Actually gets sacrificed. So nice his armor to Lorian, trying to stop some of that precious bloodlust is actually popped by Jaeger. Actually gets purged immediately. Good job by Shizgara. On top of that, a stun now triggered by Reddy. Wants to keep the aggression up.
Got Blaze from Reddy.
Yeah, I think both warriors are on the shaman, so a bit more equal strategy this round. What it seems.
It feels more even this time around than the previous mirror we had. Both Jagger and Shizgara just taking damage back and forth all the time.
Yeah, so both Bloodlust
It can be very
Shizgara
quick to
dropping.
go both ways.
We got Bop on to Shizgara right there.
Gets actually purged. Good job by Jaeger, really on top of that.
Jagger taking a lot of damage. We got a fear there from onto Jagger as well. And Keanu actually tops his team right now. And Jagger's taking a lot of pressure. He's gonna have a hard time going offensive. You got Bop onto
That's the Bop now onto Jaeger. Really equal on, I would say, on the CDs. The wings fading now on Keanu, so it's gonna be a bit harder for him to top his shaman right now. Ooh, I like that play by Jaeger, putting the earth grab as far as away possible for the paladin, so he can't get freedom. The full stun now onto Reddy. Onto Lawrence, sorry. It's going to alleviate some of that pressure.
Yeah, we can see just both teams battling into the shamans, but you can see actually Lawrence taking some damage as well here. And we actually got the double there from Keanu.
Yeah, nice move. I think he was trying to avoid the wind
Shizgara's in a lot of trouble here.
I think it was a fair move by him. He was really trying to avoid the void share. Jaeger now is the one in trouble. I feel like the big play here for both teams is really the shaman who lands the most shears, can actually get the most pressure. Jaeger topping himself, trying to get some casts off. Lorian actually goes with the pummel, actually lands on cast onto Jaeger. Jaeger, another weird shear now, really just been doing a good job trying to shut down the opposing Holy Paladin's basically output. Now the full stun. Jaeger now the man in trouble, might be the first one dying. Barely gets top, but Shizgara is the one that's actually dying now. This game is so back and forth, but Jaeger is going to be the first one to fall. Shizgara takes the lead and finishes his enemy Jaeger shaman off. And gonna be taking the first win.
I felt like Shizgara had a really good positioning there towards the end, just standing between the Jagger and Bayo, and just staying on top of that paladin and just shearing as much as he could.
Oh, and a huge damage difference. Honestly, if you look at the scoreboard, Shizgara compared to Jaeger, did so much more damage. And it clearly, even though the game was back and forth, like the overall pressure was just higher from Shizgara, and eventually it paid off. And yeah, that's what both warriors did, basically the same amount of damage. But the shaman, the difference on the shaman is actually quite important. And also, if you look at the healing done, Jaeger was pumping much more heals. That's probably the reason why he was also doing less damage, just trying to be a bit more defensive, but in a sense, but did less damage and eventually resulted in his death. But definitely a bit more fair matchup than the previous Thunder Clee mirror we saw. Seems like both teams really know what they're doing in terms of strategy, going for the shaman, really trying to shut him down as much as you can, let as many wind shears as possible to get that pressure, and eventually.
Yeah, I felt like it could have gone both ways. It didn't feel like any team was superior throughout most of the game. It was more at the clutch hour at the end of the game when it felt like Shizgara's team got a little bit ahead and got their paladin to the opposite paladin to be under pressure, landed some clutch shears on him, and just managed to land that kill. But throughout most of the game, CDs were being tossed back and forth from both teams.
For sure. And
I think, as we were saying before, it's about keeping the other shaman on the back foot, so he has to heal and can't step in.
So the one thing that's very interesting with the mirror is that not only it's usually a display of skill, but it's very important for each player's ego to beat the mirror. It's something mentally that's super important because it kind of shows, who not only is the best at playing the comp, but who's also, kind of better individually at each class. So these kind of matchups, mirror throughout World of Warcraft have always been kind of the I don't know how to say, kind of like an ego boost for whoever wins. You can kind of prove, okay, we're the best mirror, I'm the best this and this class, and so yeah, we'll see.
Just that competitive rivalry in between players.
Absolutely.
Just off the bat here, Lorien just going with the Blaze Storm onto Jagger right away. We can see Elemental Mastery coming out from Jagger as well. Just trying to get some counter pressure up. Thunderstorm as well from Jagger gets stunned. And then Intercept stun out of that. Down to 40% HP. They really need to get some...
Really taking the heat. Lorien's actually the one in trouble right now. That should send us up to the Warrior. I think
Ready now got a good Blaze Storm out, but he gets disarmed after it. But they get the full Blaze Storm out of the way.
Absolutely. Shaman's always doing the best out of the job to instantly purge that Blood off. Jaeger trying to get a Hex. Fortunately, he actually gets it on Shizgar. That's a good move by him. It's going to alleviate some of the pressure, but it feels like they're trying to change strategy. I feel like they realize they can't win the Shaman exchange, so they're actually going for Lorien a little bit more this game.
Actually, yeah, as you can see as well, Keanu's has some bigger CDs left to use as well in the game. We've seen Bob coming out from Bayo, and just some of those things going to be later.
Sleep Purge was managed to get that big heal off in between after the Mortal Strike was removed.
Ready just connecting to Shizgar right away after that Thunderstorm though.
Absolutely, feels like pressure is still onto both Shamans. Their life really doesn't go up above. Oh, there we go. Actually, gets topped off. I was gonna say it doesn't really ever go above 60%. Gets topped off, but Jaeger is now the one in so much trouble. Actually, Bayo had to pop the bubble once again. I think he's trying to avoid that wind shear. Apparently, he wasn't actually succeed. Just trying to avoid that wind shear so he can get some free casts. And now the pressure onto Shizgar. Let's see what he can do. Gets this ready. Actually, did he try to go for the Zar? I'm not sure what happened to that, but anyways, pressure is still back on both Shaman. Both Shamans trying to really do as much pressure as they can. It's really going to come down to that. Bayo is actually running a bit low on mana. It's going to have to pop the Divine Plea soon. Jaeger now trying to cast the Hex.
Yeah, it's just going back and forth there. Jagger taking a lot of damage, has to heal himself here just to help out. Look at Bayo's mana as well compared to Keanu's. He's almost out of mana. We got a Thunderstorm there coming out, but Lorien is connecting, but Lorien taking a lot of damage here, down to 30%. Has to pop, block, and spell reflection.
He does play safe. He does pop the shield wall. I like that choice. He knows like he's in the driving seat. His team is leading in terms of mana. They only need probably a few more seconds to finish this game. Jaeger is in big trouble. He really is trying to get some counter pressure here. He actually might get it. Shizgar is dropping low, 50%. But they're actually swapping back to Lorien. They really want to kill Lorien. I think that might be their only chance right now because Shizgar is full HP. Lorien's the main target right now. Charges back onto Jaeger. Oh, I like he actually Blade Storm the Thunderstorm. That's going to be a big move. Jaeger's going to go down. Oh, and that was a nice little move here by Lorien. It's going to be able to close that game, and really, that team just has been so dominating. Once again, we see it. They dominate the other matchup, dominate the mirror, and just able, once again, to just lead their team to victory.
This Psycho has just proven to be the superior Thundercleave throughout this entire tournament, and just proving to have a place in this tournament, if not even in the grand final. Just haven't lost a single series this far in the tournament.
It's definitely safe to say they're performing really well.
4-0, that is the best result you can get, honestly, for day one. And yeah, they must be feeling quite good. I'm excited to see their series actually against Damage with me, because both teams are currently undefeated. So it's kind of like the big dog versus the big dog. That's always going to be interesting who see the team that loses their first series. But anyways, guys, that was a enjoyable series to watch, and on to the next one, I guess. And not only with Damage with me, actually, just talking about them
versus Nose Merchants. Another big game.
Ooh, yeah, so Damage with me is Black Betty, Brunity, Ripley's, and Shinta, with the LSP and the Thundercleave as well. And we have Nose Merchants, which is Sumik, Machine, and Sumi, with the Warrior Lock Pally and the Warrior Lock Priest. And the game should be up right now, so we're gonna head into the game and see when the gates open up. What do you think Damage with me is gonna play? Do you think it's gonna be the LSP or the Thundercleave?
I don't know, maybe Shale knows a bit more of the players. I feel like they've been so dominant on LSP that traditionally that's usually what happens. Especially in blind picks, that's like it's been kind of like the rule in WoW. Most teams kind of not go maybe for the smartest pick, but go for the pick they feel the most comfortable with. So, you know, triple mains or the comp they've played the most. That's usually what comes out in the first game in most arena WoW tournament matches.
I should imagine we're going to see Thunder.
Yes, we
Yeah,
have
thought so.
versus with the block warrior and priest set up on Sumi's team, and Shinta just gonna ride into Machine and Sumik.
So yeah, it's actually going to be, as you guys said, Sonic lead coming out. Despite winning all of their game as LSP, I think they kind of expected to hear what comp they're going to play, so they knew they probably had a better chance with that matchup. Shinta trying to put some pressure on Sumik, so himself is actually dropping dangerous, who gets bopped on 10%. Oof, that was some insane burst. Sumik now decides to port out. Shinta trying to connect. Doesn't get the charge just yet. Nice kiting by Sumik, but he actually managed to charge his partner.
Got reckless in there from Shinta. Black Betty taking a lot of damage as well, and Brunity just with the sack. We got a Blaze Storm coming out here on top of Sumik. Gets disarmed though.
Absolutely, Shinta has to be careful. Like, as soon as he pushes on Sumik behind the pillar, he takes a huge amount of damage. Sumik now doesn't have the port available. Sumik's gonna have to do a lot of work. Actually gets full stun, pops the PS. The port comes back up in the nick of time. That really saves Sumik. If he didn't have that port at the same time, actually gets knocked back in the open though. Shinta is right back onto him. Pressure still onto Sumik. Pops that Shadow Flame, trying to kite, charges again. Ooh, a nice coil there. Really actually saved Shinta, I would say. That sorry, saved Sumik. Might not be enough. So much damage. Sumi just can't top me. He's on top of him. Pops the Void Walker for that extra defensiveness. Oh, he's taking so much damage. It's not going to be enough. Sumik goes down after some nice kiting. He was actually doing a really good job trying to kite Shinta, but Shinta is just all over the place, all over him, and the pressure was honestly unstoppable on that lock.
Crazy close at the start though. Shinta dropping to what, 11-12%?
Yeah, that just shows as well, like, you can't be too aggressive, like you're gonna get punished for it, and they just proved that to Shinta right there, that if you come behind here, we're gonna punish you for it, and we're gonna put in incredible damage into you. But Shinta did a nice trinket there at the end to connect onto Sumik and get the kill. Just trinketing that slow.
Yeah, Shinta, I feel like he's been doing... he kind of knows when the kill's going to happen. He sees that trinket for the right moment. He knows when he needs it. He knows how to... You know, he has that vision to know when to finish the game. And just another show of dominance from Damage with me. Honestly, I'm surprised. I wonder how long they're gonna keep that win streak going. That undefeated, not only in the series but also in the games, haven't dropped a single game. Curious to see who's gonna be the first team who actually takes a game off them. Maybe nobody will. Who knows? Maybe nobody will. We'll have to figure it out.
Yeah, maybe nobody will. I should imagine right now they're feeling pretty confident so far. However, as I said before, dropped dangerously low in the start there. Could have gone either way.
I could have ended. That bop was really clutch there, coming out from Brunity. Just getting the bop and big heals without the MS.
Yeah, absolutely. That's usually, I mean, not only they're good offensively, but you can tell that defensively, they got what it take. They're not, as I said, they haven't dropped a single game, which means they usually, they know the damage they can expect. They know how to react in many situations that we've seen. So that's also an important part of the game, is not only being able to kill, but also surviving long enough to get the kill. So yeah, honestly, a great show of display by this team, but it is not over. No merchants want to prove themselves with that Warlock Warrior Priest. Let's see what they have.
Shouldn't actually open up onto Machine this time with a retaliation right away.
Shinta getting kited a bit, trying to connect.
Intervenes to Black Betty to connect here. It's gonna go on Sumik right now. Brunity actually taking a lot of damage there. Blaze Storm on Machine onto Black Betty as well.
Here's the Hero from Black Betty. See if Sumi tries to get some of the spells on that. Actually, a full Hex, I think. I think Sumi just have to drink that Hex.
Yes. Machine actually dipping really low now. Right now, any retaliation, so he can't shield wall. He gets PS, but that's some big cooldowns coming out from Sumik's team.
That was a nice move by Shinta Disarming here to prevent him to go into that shield wall. Machine is actually seems to be the main target. Shinta really just kind of picking what targets he wants to kill. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna go on this guy and just kill him this game. Oh my, this damage is just unstoppable. Machine has to retreat back once again. Pops the shield wall now on 10%. He should be fine for now. The damage reduction should be okay. Sumi is struggling a bit to heal. He also has to deal with the counter spell potentially, so it's gonna be hard to top him. Now that he's on top, he has to deal with the cross pummel too, so that's how always a bit scary when you pull retreat back to your healer. You have to deal with, you know, a potential extra pummel, and Machine is just eventually gonna go down. This pressure is just too much for Sumi, and damages me another dominating game, taking the 4 series undefeated of the tournament.
Yeah, Black Betty getting 2 of those good hexes onto Sumi and just making problems. Like, he got the first hex and he was forced to trinket that one, and he got one at the end there as well when Shinta and Black Betty landed the kill.
Oof, absolutely. And I mean, they just seem unstoppable right now. You can just tell that, yeah,
they want it.
They've been doing their homework good. They've been practicing. You can tell.
They want this tournament bad. It's actually interesting because both Damage With Me and Psyche are undefeated this tournament so far. They haven't lost a single series, but they haven't faced each other yet. So that's going to be, in the next round of 5, they're going to be up against each other. But the next game, we got Gone in a Wink versus Old Division.
Oh, the good old Division. They're back with their good old TSG. Hopefully they can scratch that first win. I really hope for them.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see the guys pull out a win.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think either of these teams has won a single series this far.
Hey, you're actually correct. Yeah, Gone in a Wink. So actually, hey, that's going to be some good news for one of the teams now. One of them is going to take their first victory. Hey, a win is a win, you know, and that's going to feel good for your morale.
And this is actually going to be the last matchup for tonight, and we're going to continue tomorrow. So this tournament is going to be a 2-day tournament, and this is just day 1. So if you want to see more of these teams competing for the title of the winner of this tournament, then come back tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. And of course, tomorrow is going to be, we're going to have the kind of the championship rounds. So we'll, you know, up to the semifinals, all the way to the grand finals, and eventually we'll see who will take this second invitational Warmane tournament. But for now, the 2 underdogs are fighting off each other. Old Division versus Gone in a Wink.
Yeah, we got Old Division with the TSG and Gone with a Wink with also the TSG or the Thundercleave. So we're gonna see if it's gonna be a Thundercleave versus the TSG. That we've seen the Thundercleave do well against the TSG before in this tournament. So we're gonna see if they're gonna pick the Thundercleave versus this TSG, or if we're gonna see our first TSG mirror in this tournament. And yes, we got the Thundercleave versus the TSG.
Ooh, they didn't dare to mirror them. They knew the Old Division TSG was too strong, so they went with their little Thunder. Let's see who the main target's gonna be.
So far, Onita taking a lot of pressure.
Indeed. Here's the heroism.
You know, you can see this TSG being really passive and just playing by their pillar, and does not want to be caught in the open. So Bulgarian Pro can get this damage out, just trying to stop that.
Especially during the heroism getting caught. Now the gargoyle is gonna be popped. Should see some big damage. It looks like we got popped on actually onto Onita. Looks like the main target is gonna be the ward. They're actually kind of cleaning a bit here. I like that swap to Pacifical. After you had to use the bubble on top of that. Despite the disarm onto Zonga, forcing that bubble, I like that choice. I like that little swap down to him. And as you were saying, yeah, they're kind of just playing safe here in Pillar. Don't expose themselves too hard. Onita seems to be the main target as of right now.
Zonga actually had to pop the shield wall there, dropped down 15% and was forced to just pop some defensive cooldowns. Onita now down to 25% and popping shield block. And
yeah, it's a
Pekka's
big
now
exchange.
anti-magic zone having to be dropped. A lot of big cooldowns are dropping now from both teams.
Yeah, every 10 seconds there's basically a cooldown being popped. That is how pace. Nice hex now onto Nope H by Bulgarian. That's going to force a lot of pressure. He's going to be sitting that hex full. Zonga is going to be dropping dangerously low. Ooh, I'm not sure what Zonga has. He intervenes back, but yet now Nope might have to deal with the wind shear. No, he's lining the wind shear. Ooh, a nice fear though. That's going to be full. He has no way out. Zonga eventually is probably going to go down. 8%, 3%. Pops a spell reflect. Not going to be enough. And nice CC chain onto Nope H. Full hex into fear into stun. And eventually gone in a wink, taking another win off the old division. And the old division they just can't get it. They just can't get it.
It's not their day today. They have had a rough time throughout this tournament.
Oh, they did.
But they've also been stuck to the TSG. They don't have its different compositions, so they've just been true to the TSG throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, you can tell these guys are loyal players. It's like TSG only. We don't care. We don't care. We're gonna play TSG. That's what we like to play. We're gonna play this. We qualified with this comp together. We're gonna stick with this comp, and unfortunately, it seems like the matchup doesn't seem very in their favor against most other matchups. But you know, there's still hope.
Old Division actually have 4 players, but they have 2
Ooh.
different compositions of TSG with two different DKs.
Yeah,
so they're actually staying really true to TSG.
Oh yeah, you can't play double DK, so okay, yeah, I guess that's evidently that's like their only choice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I feel like they've had some really rough matchups, to be fair, as TSG.
Yeah, it really doesn't seem fun. Like they're just on the defensive so long, and they can't really. They don't seem to be able to find a way to score a kill. But hey, that is the law of the tournaments. You're gonna fight potentially teams that are better than you, comps that are harder for you, and when you come to a tournament, you just gotta be as prepared as you can. And yeah. So potentially the last game of the day, guys. Thank you guys so much for still being with us. Gone in a Wink now is leading 1-0. So old division. Let's see if they have it in them. It's their last chance today to redeem themselves. They need a win. They need a win here to just tie them up and potentially win the series back. Can they do it? Find out in a few seconds.
Yeah, show them some support in chat, guys. Come on.
Come on,
the old division love. We need some love for old division here, boys.
Dodged. Actually, Onita's gonna decide to sit that.
They're actually taking some damage here. Oh, look at Bulgarian. Just swap on the Bulgarian down to 50% right away. You can actually see the TSG has pressure. They just need to get it, like, connect even more.
Ooh, the full hex. Instantly triggered by Knopage. Good job by Bulgarian. Always landing that CC chain. Zonga is in big trouble.
Got the shield block coming out there from Zonga. Just popping some defensives there. Just staying in defensive stance, sitting in sword and board. Just trying to not take as much damage. But they really need to improve from this.
Full fear now has to bobble. Like Knopage really has to go through every CD now in the first 45 seconds of the game. Pekka's still in trouble. He does have the zone, but it doesn't really do anything against the Warriors, so it'll only reduce the damage.
He has to bop there as well.
Knopage really has nothing. Next to C-Chain, that might just be the game for the old division.
Yeah, Knopage actually rotated through every single passive cooldown, and Pekka's just flops.
Pekka's it's just not today for Pekka's. He's tried, but ultimately Bulgarian, the Elemental Shaman, is gonna finish him off and close the deal for the old division. But there is still tomorrow. They still have a chance to win some games tomorrow, the old division. But for now, Gone in a Wink are the ones winning in a wink and
a 2-0 lead in this series right here.
Oh, and the first win of the tournament too. So hey,
yeah, big congratulations to Gone in a Wink. This is a big one for those guys getting that W. It's just for like the mentality and the synergy in the team. Like, just feel like you can get those Ws and make you play better against even the better teams as well.
Absolutely. So yes, I believe that will be the end for today, guys. And just double checking, unless we don't want to seal the deal too quickly, but
Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for tuning into the stream today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed your stay tonight. We're gonna come back tomorrow, and we're gonna see the semifinals and the finals. The grand finals gonna be played tomorrow. You can see the brackets and the ladder and everything down in the links below on tournament links. And yeah, thank you for tonight.
Yep, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the games. We'll be back tomorrow for more PvP actions here on the Warmane tournament realm. And yeah, you guys take care. It was fun commenting with you boys, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more live action.
Sure, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep, see you boys.